Here we go. I might do the giveaways in Discord or something. Join the Discord. I'm probably just going to flood some crown codes in there. Or some game codes. We got some mounts. We got everything. I have literally over 100 codes, so I gotta move. We gotta move them before they go. Here we go. It's so good. I gotta get it away from me. I'm gonna keep eating it during this. I will take one. Not sure what we have. Let me look. I'm stalling at this point. Torchbug, Guars, ESO Plus, Crown Packs, Greymore. Yeah, we are locked and loaded. I even have the Eerie Violet Bantam Guar limited edition. Only 100 ever made. Your boy's sitting on 20% of the supply. All right, like, okay. Here we go. The Elder Scrolls Online Blackwood patch notes 7.0.0. Okay? We're going to check it out. We're going in blind. I don't know what's in here, but I'm excited to check it out and see what they have in store for us. We've blown up the font. I will highlight what I read. This is the agreement we've come to with chat for the comfort of your eyes, the viewers. Welcome to the Elder Scrolls Online version 7. And our next chapter, Blackwood, uncovered the schemes of the Daedric Prince, Mehrunes Dagon, 800 years before the events of Elder Scrolls 4. For non-lore masters in the chat, that was Oblivion, okay? The Gates of Oblivion. You're welcome. From the walls of the imperial city of Leowen to the murky bogs of Shadowfen, I'm not going to read all of it. Explore the mysterious region of Blackwood and uncover the Daedric plot at its heart. You can also enter Oblivion Portals, scattered throughout the region of Blackwood. Fight your way to their heart, shut down these mysterious Daedric constructs. All right. We're all... oh, yeah. We should read all this part. Okay. Because this is the real... We're also excited to introduce companions to fight alongside you, keep you company, and tell new stories as you grow your friendships, with all new and unique characters ready to aid you in your quests. Or, never start a sentence with or, Gina. Or gather your strongest allies to take on Rockgrove, our newest 12-player trial. Blackwood also features a number of new item sets, antiquities, collectibles, outfit styles, dyes, and titles. Update 30, which is a free update as part of the base game, includes several other additions and features as well, including ability bar timers, bankable outfit style pages. Oh, I see bankable. Okay. New monster masks, master writ quest assistance, adjustments to proc sets and champion systems, including new stars and more. Also included in the new Endeavor system. Also included is the new Endeavor system, allowing you to earn a new currency that can be used to purchase items directly from Crown crates. This is, I think this is part of the Microsoft acquisition. But basically, I think I need to read up on that a little. But I think you could log in. Maybe it's in here. I think you get like rewards, or you do quests or daily things, and then you can buy stuff with it from the Crown store. What else was in here? Is ability bar timers? I think that's it shows how much is left on like a buff. This is really nice for console. It's a really nice addition for console. This week, we've copied over all PCNA characters and have supplied a max level character template. Note that we've also enabled the collector's edition items on all PTS accounts, regardless of your pre-purchase status, in order to fully test all items. We look forward to hearing what you think of our latest chapter, which is approximately 5.59 gigs in size. Thank you, and enjoy your time in Blackwood. All right, that's the intro. The crate system is illegal in a lot of European markets. I think that's a good way to get around the laws. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's in conjunction with the Crown system. It's not like a bypass or something to it. Well, 7th, I always read the intro, all right? This is like the heart of it. This is like the opening to Blackwood, all right? This is the whole pitch. If you have to package the pitch, this is where you put it. So I like to, this is, you know, because I'm not going to read everything in the patch notes, as I usually say. We skip around. But, you know, it's all the high-level stuff, all right? Here's the table of contents. All right, there's the Blackwood chapter with the new zone and Oblivion Portals, companions. I'm probably going to skip over that for now. Now, there will be info on this stuff. There already is a good amount of info on some of this stuff, but, you know, like, I want to see the sets and Antiquities, and I really want to see the new dies, too. I'm excited to see where we're going with that. So we'll pop around. We'll check certain things out, all right? And certain things we won't. Okay? Here we go. New zone, Blackwood, which is on the PTS, so you guys can check it out. I don't want to spoil it. I don't like spoiling it, right? So we're not gonna spoil it. Blackwood includes the following activities: 6 delves, each with its own sky shard. 6 challenging world bosses. 2 public dungeons. New set crafting stations. Venturing into depths of Deadlands from numerous Oblivion portals opening up around the region, and over 30 hours of quest content, exploration, and achievement hunting. Okay. What are Oblivion portals? There's just, you know, probably little portals you go into. There are plenty, there are multiple pathways to explore within the Deadlands. All right. So there's portals. Yeah. Okay. Companions is pretty much the thing for this chapter. There's already been a lot of stuff on companions. I won't really go through it. There's already like a lot of stuff dedicated to it separately. But in short, if you don't know what are companions and you're watching the video, that's like the new class this patch or whatever it is. So they're throwing in companions, which it's not a new class. You get like a helper people that follow you around, and you can put your own skills on them, and you could talk to them and they help you. They don't work in PvP. Yeah, they don't work in PvP. All right, so there you go. So we're going to move right through progression. With the exception of quests, which collectively represents the relationship between each character and the companion. Oh, all right. There's a lot of info on companions in here. So, yeah. Well, Outcast has stuff on the site on it already. All right, he's got write-ups on it. Okay, there's a lot to do there. That is the big thing. If you haven't played ESO and like you kind of want to play solo, it's actually like probably a great feature. Or if you're just not a PvPer in general, it's probably cool to somewhat part of what you play. You can use them in dungeons and everything. So, yeah. Rock Grove Trial. So they have a new trial. 12-player. You got a unique body marking in there, mount, titles. Okay. Here we go. Get into some of the stuff I usually look at. New item sets. We have the new light set, Overland. Spell damage, spell crit, spell damage. The 5-piece increases your damage done with frost by 6%. Increases your damage done against chilled enemies by 4. Increases your damage done against enemies afflicted with minor brittle by 2. It's not that great. Only hits your damage done, and it's only usable on like what? A couple classes. Okay. That's a major berserk right there. It is. Like, I would say if you were like really like a focus target build, it'd be pretty good, but you have to activate it too. Right? This part doesn't kick in right away. It's just your frost abilities. It's not terrible with a nice Destro staff like Warden build, but alright, whatever. It's a lot of damage for Magdans. It is. It's not bad. Especially, like, one thing to consider since they did the CP changes is they gave you a lot of passive stats now. So, like, you already have a lot of spell damage and base stat. So sets that boost you, like, percent-wise like this, are actually more complementary. So, it is pretty good. Damage there. But it's not, like, full-rounded, right? Like, there are other good sets, I think, that kind of round you on offense and defense. Because this doesn't help you on defense. That's part of what I think for it. But is it good? Like, yeah, if you want to do DPS, sure. It's good damage. So that's in there. But percent-based stuff, as a result of that, will help a lot more because basically everyone's characters are a bit stronger now than they were, say, if you haven't played ESO in, like, since the CP rework, everything is juiced. Like, all the stats. So you do a lot more damage and a lot more healing. And you, as a result, need to boost your defense and your health by a ton. And again, percent-based stuff is just going to ramp up those boosted stats a lot. So it is good there. But all right. Deadlands Assassin, medium. Weapon damage, max stam, weapon damage. Dealing damage to an enemy within 10 meters with a heavy attack causes you to throw a cone of knives, dealing physical damage to enemies hit. If an enemy hit has 50% health or less, they also take bleed over 13 seconds. Scales off the higher of your weapon or spell damage. Physical and bleed damage values are not included in this patch note as they scale with your weapon or spell damage. Okay. So dealing damage to an enemy within 10 meters of you with a heavy has you proc a cone, which deals physical damage. If they happen to have less than half health, they also take a bleed. There's no cooldown. It seems pretty damn good. We don't know what this damage is then. Off the bat. That seems good. Like, it doesn't have a cooldown. Heavy attacking is really good right now, especially with Vate Shred. Unless something completely flips on its head there, Vate Shred's like a big way to go, and it's usable in environments where you can use proc sets. I don't know if they change that with Cyrodiil in here. I guess we'll figure it out. But otherwise, as far as PvP goes, you just look at these for... Although I did hear that IC has new monster sets, so we're probably going to have IC PvP in the patch. Like at the start, at least. For a bit. Which will be cool. But that's another story. We'll get to that. But, yeah, that's not bad at all. Because the base stats are great. Weapon damage, like this right here, is really good. And this is great. No cooldown. Works on heavy attacks. Again, a lot of people are heavy attacking already. So, even if they don't have a Vate Shred, but you generally do. Anyway, looks good, actually. Looks potentially pretty powerful. Anywho, Bog Raider heavy. Does Magicka health stam. When an enemy you have recently damaged dies, gain 10 ult and increase your health recovery by 1156 for 10 seconds. It can only happen every 10 seconds. Okay. It's not bad, actually. You can keep this up like all the time, pretty much. So it's not bad at all. It's just like static ult gen and a lot of health recovery. It's pretty good. That can have like full uptime, 100%. So not bad at all. Okay. Actually not useless sets here. Ball group set? I don't know about that. I mean, not in current Cyrodiil. Doesn't work. It's got a condition. Does something. All right, we have crafted sets. The Hiss Whisper adds health recovery, stamina recovery, Magicka recovery. 5-piece. Dealing damage to lighter medium attack heals you for 318 health and stamina and Magicka. Dealing damage to fully charged heals you for twice that. What? Use light attack, spam, and recover? All 3 stats? Okay. I think it's a dumb set. Personally. It's a lot of recovery. There's a lot of ways to get recovery, but I don't know. I don't mean that it's stupid and that it's bad. It's not. I think it's just silly. Okay, gives you a lot of stat. Like you could just sit there and kind of. All right. Let's just move on. I don't know. Heartland Conquer. Weapon and spell damage. Max magicka and stamina. Increase the effectiveness of your weapon traits by 100%. This does not affect ornate or intricate traits. Increase the effectiveness of your weapon traits. That's interesting. They've never had that. So it'll double whatever your trait is. What about infused? Shields are not affected by Heartland Conquer as they use armor traits. Oh, that's pretty good, I think. If I'm not reading this. Sorry, the resulting amount you could do from like a what about a Torg infused? That could be pretty dangerous. A lot of damage. It'd be interesting to see what the math turns out on that. But Bloodthirsty and stuff is OP now. Those weapon traits, yeah? This is just on your weapons, yeah? Pretty much doubles the impact of whatever that is. So if you had like sharpened, you could double the penetration on a sharpened weapon. If you had nerned, you would double the percent boost of that nern. You have to go to town with a little bit of math, but that could be really strong on certain things. Yeah, precise is good too. Infused though. Infused could be real interesting. So, yeah, powered 16% healing. That's something else, and it's crafted, so you can kind of squeeze it in however you want. That'll be interesting. That might be a very popular set there for good builds. Diamond's Victory adds weapon and spell damage, crit chance, weapon and spell damage. So it's all hybrid here. Dealing direct damage grants you range supremacy for 5 seconds, adding weapon and spell damage to your damage over time and ranged attacks. Dealing direct range damage grants you melee supremacy for 5 seconds, adding a boost to your melee attacks. So you have to deal the inverse to gain things. You want range supremacy, you have to deal direct melee damage. No, the set's currently going through some design tweaks that will be implemented future PTS. I'm wondering, can you have both? Like if I run in and I shoot a guy with a bow, I'm going to get melee supremacy. Strange as that is, which means I can then engage, switch like a two-hander, already have the boost for melee, start hitting him with a melee, and then I'd gain range. But why? I don't know. But it's fully hybrid too, and it looks like it has no cooldown, so you could have full uptime on a good amount of weapon and spell damage. So it's like a stat-wise, it's a decently offensive set, but I don't know. There's already, I guess some of the similar sets have drawbacks, like God, I can't think of the name right now. The one passive set, but it has pen, but it also has 5% increased cost, for example. So affects dots as well, though. Yeah, it's not bad. Like again, the stats are good. Like all these sets have like good numbers on them. They really do. We have a lot of good numbers on these sets. So that's in there. Okay, we have trial sets. I usually like when there's some cool trial sets that can be like worked into PvP kind of well. I used to do more trial PV when that was the case. We have a light set. Add spell damage, gain minor slayer at all times, increase your damage on the... Okay. Spell crit, spell damage, and then spell damage for perfected only passive. Increase your damage done to non-player enemies. But that's 15% basing on your miss magic. Okay. It's like I jinx it by... Okay. So that's not a PvP set. Stone Talker's Oath. Here's a light set. You meant New Moon Acolyte. Exactly. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. Like, it would probably do better there, but... Because it doesn't have the punishment. Arda, thank you. 16 months. Welcome back. Thank you, man. Appreciate the kind words, brother. Good to have you back. Minor Psychical PV, right? Yes. Yeah, that's only for mobs. And yeah. All right, Stone Talker's Oath, light. We have a recovery, Minor Aegis, which is PV only. And then another recovery. And then adds max magicka if perfected. Your fully charged heavies place a soul bomb on your target that charges as the target takes damage. After 10 seconds, the bomb explodes, restoring 5% of the damage received as stamina magicka. Up to 2240 stamina magicka to 12 group members within 16 meters. This can occur every 10 seconds. But yeah, the whole group could, I mean, not saying the whole group would, but so you could use that with other people. Everyone could feed in. Like that's 224 magicka and stamina regen if you did it off cooldown. I'm sorry, it's not regen. That's per second. Regen-wise, that would be about 450 magicka and stam regen for potentially the whole group. That's a lot. Healer support set, yeah. What's the requirement? Your fully charged heavy attacks place a soul bomb on your target. Oh, I get it. It does up to that damage, though, so it's not going to hit that necessarily. The bomb explodes, restoring 5% of the damage received. Yeah, that wouldn't happen in PvP then. Okay. But for PvP, or PvE, I'm sure it could be juiced up pretty well. In PvP, it's going to get cut in half. The damage intake, and then, yeah, okay. Bucko, thank you for 20 months. Welcome back. Thank you for the resub. Yeah, it does beat out the old New Moon Frozy. Yeah, it doesn't have the punishment either. If everybody heavy attack a different person with that set and deal a bunch of AoE ultis, it's a lot of sustain. It is good sustain still. It'd be interesting to see how much it is. Also, how much the Soul Bomb does. Because we don't know. Like, Soul Bomb alone could be like a good chunk of damage. And it blows after 10 seconds. So, I don't know. What's the range on it, too? Interesting. It's an interesting set. Needs further looking at. Guessing the Soul Bomb can be purged, probably. Yeah, that would kill it there, probably. Okay, let's move on. We have medium sets: weapon damage, minor slayer, crit, another crit on perfected. When an enemy you recently damaged dies, you leave behind a vengeful soul for 6 seconds. You can only create one at a time. Touching the soul increases weapon crit by a lot and your crit damage by a fucking lot for 30 seconds. So all you have to do is... Damn, that is fucking really good. An enemy you recently damaged dies, leaves behind a soul for 6 seconds. You must just touch the soul, and you get a 30-second buff that gives you 12% crit damage and 2160 weapon crit. That is huge. That is really good. What? No cooldown, by the way. That is really good. Wow. A Nightblade's dream, but any class can leverage that. Palork, thank you for 3 years, brother. Welcome back. Yeah, buddy. If Friendship about to get that Predator. These passionates are insane. Just getting into it, man. Thank you for the resub. Pale Orc. Another phenomenal ESO streamer. Check him out. Leads the Legion of Mordors. Replace the Trap Beast and Accelerate. It stacks with it. It doesn't replace. It stacks. That's the thing. Stacks with that. It stacks with Shadow. Like you could pump it up, dude. Like a Shadow build with that is very reliably effective. Very. Thank you, Tiz. Appreciate that. Tesfa, 32 months. Welcome back as well. Thank you for the resub. So that's a really strong set. Put that on your list. That's effective in every environment. All right. What else do we have? The Sax set, the heavy. It's max Magicka, max stamina if at perfected. When you cast an ult, you and 11 group members within 28 meters of you gain major force for 21 seconds, increasing your crit damage done by 20%. This can happen every 30 seconds. Jesus. Yeah. Crit's coming back, baby. It's full swing. Those are big numbers. They really are. Like, even with crit resist, man, those are big numbers. You'll be able to push crit damage to a department it's never been before. For long windows. Get T on the phone. It's time for PvE. It is. We're signing up. Let's hit up J-Dub. Let's get this going. It's time to get some Sax champions and Soulzon tormentors. Okay? Yeah. The effectiveness that would have in, organized large groups. Pale Orc, you're probably loving it, dude. Pale Orc's about to be running around with a lot of major force in his hands. Yeah, they are big. These are big numbers to mess with here. Especially because if I can run around and DPS on this set and have this up, meanwhile someone else is giving me the major force, I can already do minor force my own and then throw Shadow on it. Okay. Let's go, baby. You know, throwing a little precise on your weapon, fire at will, baby. Don't even need acuity. Blood District, thank you. 65 months. Welcome back. A long timer. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for the resub. Welcome. Gonna need at least 35k health in Cyril next patch. Are you kidding me? That's not even the minimum today. Alright, you need 40k. Tiz is T3 in it for 25 months. Yeah, Tiz, that's one of the OGs here. Tiz, welcome back for 25 months with the T3. Thank you, dude. Thank you. Damn. Some big sets here. These trial sets. So I mean, it's cool that they're kind of useful, but yeah, you need some champions to clear some of them. Okay. All right, let's move on. Antiquity and Mythics. Let's see if it gets crazier. Whoever ults first wins. It's a lot of, because the thing is like, you're looking at these numbers. These numbers were crazy before the CP rework. Post CP rework, since they added so much more damage to people's builds passively, you're now putting percent crit modifiers on top of these very high numbers. Like, yeah, people are gonna get knocked out there. Wonder what the hell's wrong with their builds. All right, Antiquities and Mythics. Gaze of Sithis, a heavy head, gives. And what is this? Okay, these are Mythics. These are our one pieces. Adds 5,000 health, 500 recovery, 10,000 armor. Reduces block mitigation to 0. I'd heard about this one. I think this one is very strong. I think there's a few setups that are annoying as fuck. And coming after, like, nerfing Werewolf, does anyone not find the parallel of, like, they're like, we're gonna nerf Werewolf because it's really annoying? This motherfucking thing, it's like an undo on that nerf. Like, just throw this shit on your Werewolf. Get back out there, Chief. Start swinging again. Holy shit. That's, now, block mitigation's important, but you can probably still block stunnable things. For example, if I have a meteor coming and I want to stop the CC, I could tap the block still. Plus, it's not like you can't block. That's the thing. You could still block. It just won't mitigate any damage, which is fine, but it could stop CCs. You could still have, like, say you're blocking back bar with your Sigil ult. Still get the little shield, you know? So it's not the biggest loss for people that have high mobility builds, where move speed is paramount. This gives you the thing you need, because you can heal so much. Like, the stats are too juiced. I don't know if it's in here. Maybe I should just ask for a spoiler. Did they change anything with the passive stats? Because I'm trying to consider all these changes with how stats are today. And if they did not tone down, like, weapon and spell damage and what they did since the CP rework, then everything is still juiced as far as I'm concerned. Did they change anything? Richard Gear, thank you for 21 months. Welcome back. Love your work. Another one. Yeah, this is a mythic, this item. CP has been changed. I'm not talking about CP. I'm talking about the passives. Passive increase in weapon and spell damage and base stats. They reduced some of the power CP. I didn't even care about it. I played in CP and non. There's a little bit of a difference. I'm talking about the difference of going from the patch before CP rework to after. When you played in non-CP before the rework and then played in non-CP after the rework, they are two different games. One feels like an MMORPG, the other one feels like an MMO FPS. I'd say no way this makes it live, but it probably will. I'm sure it will, yeah. He means the extra 1k spell and weapon damage. That's right. Plus, you also got more just base. All right. Okay. Then considering that, with all of that, then yes, this is very effective. The 10k armor really helps you mitigate a lot of the damage. Plus, it also boosts up your health in a big way. Not to mention the health recovery. Thanks, dude. But, like, if you have a lot of, like, good mobility builds, then, yeah, this allows you to build, like, a 40k plus HP build that didn't sacrifice stuff to get 40k HP with high mitigation and still have, like, medium armor. You know what I mean? Because you'll just be like, cool, I'll strap on a bit more well-fitted. I'll roll dodge everything that is projectile and the other shit that's not, no problem, because my stats are so high that I can just weave Vigor and Rally and not really die. Unless I get zerged by people, at which point I will be laying on the ground zerged, sending hate tells to everybody, because I'm a giant douchebag, and my build can only be killed by, like, 5 people that run me down with bullshit. They're also teabagging, by the way. It's just like, it's just like it's the ESO experience. It just comes full circle, and you're just like, what are you doing here, you know? Like, you have to be an asshole to stop an asshole. And it's just like, why am I doing it? You know? It's not really the battle anymore. Anyway, it is what it is. That's a strong one. I bet that shit goes live, dude. That is wild. You're going to have a lot of high mobile builds that you're going to have to... You're going to live the experience I just described, because I've been there more times than I can count. Okay? Get ready for it. And it's not just like a Nightblade or something that could use it, or just a Werewolf. Like, you could leverage that on anything. There are certain builds that still are great with Sword and Board if nothing changed there. The mitigation off Sword and Board is nothing to laugh at. There's certain classes that are very useful with that. But then there's other ones. Like, even a DK is great, Sword and Board healing, and can recover. But I can also just go, like, max move speed on my DK and be like, cool, major mending going at 200 miles an hour. Let me just pop a Vigor. Great. Shit's healing me absurd amounts. Turn around. Heavy attack. Boom. and just keep fucking sailing, you know, and you're just, it's wild. So anyway, yeah, that's really strong. And it is a bit to forfeit block mitigation. Don't get me wrong, but like just roll dodge, you know, and you'll find people more if you're used to that. Like it'd be useful for my play style. I'll walk around with Gaze of the Sithis. All right, I'll do it. Anyway, let's move on. Harpooners. How do we say this? Is it waiting or wadding? I know this word, but I don't know. It's a kilt, all right? It's a medium legs, all right? Waiting. That's what I thought. So we have a waiting kilt. What does it do? Let's find out. It's a medium leg set. Dealing direct damage grants you a stack of Hunter's Focus for 1 minute. You can get up to 10 stacks. Each stack lasts for a minute. Okay. You can only gain 1 stack per second. Each stack increases your crit chance and crit damage. Jesus, what's going on, dude? Taking direct damage removes 1 stack of Hunter Focus. Oh. Removing Harpooner's kilt removes all the stacks. Never remove the kilt. Yeah. Not that great. All right. I mean, like, at max, what do we get? 20% crit damage is nice, and the crit chance can, is only going to go up, like, to 1,100 extra crit chance. Now, don't get me wrong. That's nice. 1,100 crit chance and 20% crit damage. However, I can guarantee you the person that made this item has not stepped foot in Cyrodiil in some time. All right? They don't know how quickly you get hit with direct damage, how rapidly it piles on, how quickly the Hunter's Focus will be removed. It's mostly for PvE, Fengrush. Oh, I know it. I'm telling you right now. That's, you know, this individual has not been zerged in some time. This is a PvE item, okay? For PvE, it should be okay. All right. It's a PvE item then. All right. Fair enough. We also have Death Dealers. What is it? Feet? Isn't it turned off in Cyrodiil by default anyway? I guess. I don't know if that's in here too. Did we not get any? Are there no changes to Cyrodiil? I thought they were changing stuff in Cyrodiil this patch, right? Or no? Feet. Fet. All right. I can't read. Feet pics. Yeah, no. Aren't they? I'll accept a spoiler on that too. Are they not changing things in Cyrodiil and bringing certain sets back? Cormac, thank you for 27 months. Bringing in the biceps. Thank you, brother. Welcome back. Thank you. It's like Pepe, but fete. Oh? It's like saying fat, but shorten the A. Fet. I don't know. They are waiting? For what? They decided to wait to at least June. Huh. Alright, I guess we'll get there. Alright, let's keep moving. Gain a persistent stack of escalating feet. Every 2 seconds you're in combat, up to 10 stacks. Each stack increases max magicka, health, and stam by 150. You lose them every 4 seconds. You're out of combat. So the requirement is to be in combat. Wardens rejoice. and Templars all stuck in combat. We can get up to 10 stacks, so it could take 20 seconds to get it to full. And then that would give me what? 1,500 more Magicka health and stam. Am I reading this right? It takes my ass 20 seconds to gain another 1,500 Magicka health and stam. Or I could say, fuck that noise. Because the three of them put together doesn't even add up to the first bonus on this item. What's going on, dude? They're not even comparable. Like, this thing is active when I wake up in bed. This shit does less than that. And it requires 20 seconds to build up. I don't know. All right. I don't think this is a good one either. This appears to be a PvE one. Let's just put this ring right off the chart. That is not good in any situation, I'm telling you right now. No block mitigation, though. I hear you, but that's okay. Maybe they'll adjust it, maybe not. But yeah. Okay. Shape Shifter's Chain, a necklace, reduces your cost of transformation ultimate abilities by 15%. While transform, increase your max health, stamina, magicka by 1,200. Set effects Werewolf, Vampire, and Bone Goliath.
I'm coming to get you.
I'm coming to get you. Nas, thank you for 13 months with the Prime. Welcome back. Thank you for that resub, dude. I appreciate that. So, just double checking things here. Like, Bone Goliath gives me 30,000 health. But boy, when I put on my Shapeshifter chains, make it 31,000 health. It reduces the ult cost, but like, dude, there's like a 3-piece set, I think, that reduces ult by 15%. I don't know. Doesn't do anything else. It's just reduce ult cost and give you a piddly amount of stats. It's probably the worst one to consider is Goliath. But the Vampire does the same thing. Vampire juices you by like 20,000, right? And now the Werewolf's a little different, but like, it's not doing it. That's not it. How do you come up with... I mean, I'm just wondering, how do you come up with this number, like 1216? Over here we have 150, which maxes at 1,500. And then up here... Like, these had to be made by different people. Like, someone was making these, and then some other dudes, they're like... I'm telling you, I see it like every patch. There's, like, one thing that, like, flies by. Where you're like, did they just hand something off to somebody? And they're like, hey, come up with something cool, Joe. He's like, all right, you got it, boss. And they're like, what about this? They're like, yeah, you did it, man. And like, it's, like, not even remotely in line with the other things in the category. Like, it's not even close. So there's yeah. The other mythics I don't think are that great, to be honest with you. I mean, frankly, I don't even see where this is good. Personally, I don't see where this is actually good. I don't think, for a mythic, some of the other mythics in game right now are very strong. They're already very strong mythics. Like, for this, I don't know. Maybe, like, the Vampire Ultimate is the only thing I could possibly think, because only for the fact of reducing its cost by a lot to get a high uptime on it. But you can't build ult while you're in it, right? So, like, I don't know. That's maybe the only thing. Not for this. That is like not much. 1200 health stam magicka? Okay. Great. Like, you know, I don't know. Anyway, it's okay. That's my take on them, okay? You lose a monster set with the first one. What do you mean? Oh, because it's a headpiece, you're saying. Yeah, I mean, a lot of builds don't use 2-piece monster sets right now, though, already. A lot of people do different things. Like, the builds I've been running are 5/5. Like, one of those 5 pieces back barred. Front bar can use something like Vaitshran. There's a lot of very, very good arena weapons right now. So a lot of people use arena weapon. 5-piece back bar, which you could count as, say, let's say your weapon and 3 jewelry, which leaves you now, all that's left is 7 body pieces. So you can use a 1-piece monster set, a 5-piece always active, and then, you know, something like this. Okay. So yeah. This will be very effective on builds. Like reducing block mitigation, here's the thing, block mitigation is very strong. There are certain builds, sword and board, and they just turtle up and they heal like gods right now. However, you already have some people that are high mobility fighters. You will have more of them, and you can leverage that on almost any setup. Even Magicka could technically do it fine too. It doesn't come as natural, and it's not as common as medium, but it could. Does it suck to lose block mitigation? Yes, but if you can still throw in some roll dodging, healing is very strong. And I'll be damned if this doesn't complement a setup that allows you to rotate good heals, and you just set up good healing on your class, and then use line of sight and mobility to survive. That's all. Okay. Not going to give up my Torcatonal or Malakast band. Yeah, Malakast is still strong. Torque is good utility. That's tough to pass up. The amount of utility you trade on Torque for survival here is like this overcomes. Like this is like cool. I just strapped on a heavy set of armor. I just boosted up my health, so I don't need to throw as much health either, you know, on enchants, and I got a little health recovery just because fuck it. And like you know, you can pack a lot in the damage then. That's all. Anyway, we'll come back to it. New Antiquities. There are new Antiquities to find in Blackwood. Wow. Fatal, thank you for 25 months. The Prime, welcome back. Thank you, dude. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. The weapon trait set's going to be open up a lot of new builds. I think it can be thrown into so many different kinds of builds. I'm interested to see where it goes. It really does. That one has probably been the most interesting set I've seen in a while, and potentially very powerful, especially combined with a few other sets. There's a few other sets that can complement with that, where you put the weapon trait together, put it together with another 5-piece, and suddenly there's some really strong stuff for sure. There's definitely some interesting things in here. Okay, new Antiquities, a new crafting motif, Ancestral Akaviri, a new outfit style, the Bog Blight Funerary Mask. Is that the thing from the guy in the video with the book? That one? Maybe not. I don't know. Got a new tapestry here. A lot of things. Is that a tidal canoe? Are you kidding me? They're hooking it up, dude. In addition, there are 4 new mythic items, as outlined above. Oh. Yeah, okay. New collectibles and outfit styles. Okay. We got new hats, costumes, adornments, mementos, the fresh makers. We have outfit styles, markings, pets, mounts, you name it. It's in there. New achievements and titles. Over 70 new achievements, 7 new titles, and 2 dies. Got some new motifs. We got new furnishings. Base game, endeavors. Let's read about these. Let's check it out. Endeavors have you complete simple tasks such as killing a number of creatures, crafting a number of items from a... Okay. These can be found in Group and Activity Finder. When you log in for the first time, they are granted to you automatically. Oh, wait, I should have read this. Endeavors are account-wide, limited-time activities that reward a new currency, Seals of Endeavor. These can be used to purchase any item from the currently active Crown Crate. So you can purchase any item from the Crown Crate. Coming for that Radiant Apex, you just got to get in and do your Seals of Endeavors. Endeavors come in two groups, daily and weekly. The UI will indicate which endeavors are available, as well as how many you can complete in that group. Once you've hit your endeavor limit, you must wait until they reset to do more. Completing endeavors automatically rewards Seals of Endeavor. You cannot trade, gift, or extract items bought with the seals. All items that can be purchased with the seals are currently priced at 1. Complete simple tasks such as killing a number of creatures, crafting a number of items. Are they pretty much writs? Then I guess there probably won't be PvP ones, right? Ability bar timers. Inspired by the popular PC add-on Action Duration Reminder, a new setting has been added to the combat settings. When enabled, using an ability will display a timer over the ability's icon corresponding to the duration of its effect. This includes abilities cast on enemies as well as friendlies. It can also enable timers for the back bar, which will display smaller timers for abilities on the ability bar that is not currently active. These options are available in both the keyboard and the gamepad UI and are off by default. There you go. Action duration reminders now built in. It's like Writs and WoW Quest. Okay. Is this the future patch? Yeah, this is the one that'll come in about a month. I think it'll be here first week of June. Why off by default? Probably because if you put it on by default, a lot of people are going, oh no. I logged into ESO today and I had numbers on my thing. And actually I felt put down by that because it looks like my buffs were rolling off and the game's insulting me actively. I just stopped my subscription. I hate ESO. I'm never playing it again. You'll have things like that all over the forums. You've clearly never been on the forums. People are easily angered by things like that and changes. They will go hard. All right, it will be a long day for the moderator crew. All right, new monster masks. Nice. These are 2-piecers, okay? In this update, we've added 3 new monster masks that are located in the Imperial City. Some of you may not know what the Imperial City is. It's in the middle of Cyrodiil. How do you get there? Well, you can queue in on that PvP menu. The masks drop from their respective monsters and the trophy vault chests in their districts. The shoulders can be purchased from the Telvar merchant. Zol, the ever wakeful. I believe he's the eyeball. Adds max stamina. When you break free, you release a wave of Watcher energy, causing enemies within 8 meters of you to become feared for 3 seconds. You also gain 35 weapon and spell damage for each enemy hit, up to 6 enemies for 7 seconds. Interesting. That's what? Up to 6 enemies, so that could be about 180 weapon and spell damage. So very low damage, gives max stam. The fear utility is pretty cool, though. Within 8 meters. That's a good range. Only hit 6, which isn't bad. And you get the the weapon increase for 7 seconds. It's not like an overtuned set, but it's it's interesting. It can do a 3-second fear inside them. So that sounds like a good Zerg set. It's something else. Okay, all right. I mean, that's what it is. It is cool though. I'll tell you what. Sets in IC means we're gonna have some PvP in IC. So free skill slot basically. Yeah. It'll be interesting how quick that fear goes. A lot of PvPers know fear is a delayed CC. It's actively used in the primetime Cyrodiil experience because it is difficult to break because it is delayed. It's a funky CC. It's used because of how funky it is and how delayed its response is. So, Immolator Char. This is the big dude in Temple District who slams his belly. First piece adds armor. The 2-piece gives max health, and when you take damage while below half health, you gain immunity to immobilizes, snares, and crowd controls for 10 seconds. That can happen once every 40 seconds. Again, that's not bad, and yeah. It's not terrible, and it's not, like, overtuned, I feel. CC immunity is very strong. And also the snare immunity. It's actually, like... Yeah, you can't wear it with that new Mythic, huh? I was going to say, this with that new Mythic. Whew. All right. We have Glorglock the Destroyer. Still prefer the Sithis? Yeah, I hear you, dude. I hear you. They both have use cases though, where they're like not terrible at all. Max health off the one. While in combat, each second you stand still grants you a stack of Flesh Fortress, up to 10 stacks. Each stack increases your armor by 380 and crit resist by 38. Each second you move removes a stack of Flesh Fortress. Exiting combat removes all of them. Yeah. Oh. Okay. I just reread the condition. Each second you stand still. Yeah. No way. This is not a set to be used. Okay. Maybe you can pop it on when you go AFK. I mean, that's about it. Okay. So. All right. So that's not it. Anyway. Let's move on. 3k armor versus 10k armor. Yeah. Trial tanks, maybe. They don't need crit resist. Mobs don't crit. These are all made for PvP. All three of them were for PvP. None of them were made for PvE. And that makes sense that they're put in their Imperial City. There will be PvP and IC for some of these sets. There's collectors and all that, so... Yeah. 380 crit resist at 10 stacks, though. Yeah. Just stay still, forehead. Don't move. The enemy can't see you and hurt you. You'll be safe. You're wearing Glorglock the Destroyer set. Okay. Bankable outfit style pages. I hope it's not short-lived in IC. It'd be fun if there's a bit of PvP. Yeah. That'd be fun. We'll see. I'd like to check that out. IC PvP is always fun. It says charge and teleport don't remove stacks. But I mean, still, like, how many of you guys find yourself doing stuff in PvP where you're not moving? And you're not sacrificing, like, what you're sacrificing that for, that's not much. It's 3,800 armor, 380 crit resist at 10 stacks, which means your ass has to stand still for 10 seconds. Try explaining that to your group leader. Sorry, Chief, I'm just staying still so I can get this baby maxed out, and then I'm going to start spamming fucking shield rush or something and pushing people over with max crit resist. Yeah, like, it's... You know. So... Flag Defender monster set. Yeah. All right. That's right. We have the Sithis set. Like, we have a mythic item that does 10k armor. And the only requirement is to log in. Okay? Did you just log in? 10k armor. Bonus time, 5k HP as well. Little bit of HP regen sprinkled on for good measure. All right? Like, just put that on, you know? Like, these are easy options. And bankable outfit style pages. Okay. Master Writ Quest assistance. Beginning with this update, your Master Writ Quest will point you towards the correct set crafting station. Oh, nice. New tutorial, the Isles of Balfiria. Huh. Okay. New homes. Pilgrim's Rest. Water's Edge. Panther Fang Chapel. Check them out. Combat and gameplay. Major Gallop is currently applying to toy mounts, while Absolutely Hilarious is unfortunately unintended. It's time to get your toy mounts out. Okay. This was added at the end. FYI, we added a missed note in the combat and gameplay section. Battle Spirit passive now also reduces your health recovery by 50%. Oh. Okay. That's a pretty heavy hit to health recovery. Alright. Fair enough. Abilities. The abilities that underwent changes to area effect adjustments currently do not respect the standard target cap. Activating the synergy from necrotic orbs or its morphs will cause the orb to tick an extra time when activated. This is not the boom we are looking for. Budding Seeds secondary heal can sometimes double fire. Are these just like known issues? This is just like combat gameplay, abilities, and then they just start listing things. Bone Totem and Morph's Fear will currently apply to Justice NPCs even if Prevent Targeting Innocence is turned on. To be fair, summoning an effigy of Bone in front of Innocence is still pretty messed up. Agony Totem Synergy can sometimes become unavailable for recast early. Bone Totem and Morphs are currently fearing immediately rather than waiting for the list of delays. Misforminous Morphs will currently remove existing CC immunity when you stop channeling, even if they have a duration remaining. Okay. Oh yeah, this is under known issues. Okay, so these are known issues that shouldn't be happening. All right, companions. We got some issues with them too. There may be instances where your companion can unintentionally enter a battleground. I'd personally like to go into a battleground with a companion and maybe just chain root somebody and stun them repeatedly while the companion kills them. If I turn on RP walk, will my companion RP walk over the body with me? And we can just walk into the sunset as a team, a power duo. All right, what else do we have for known issues? Exploration, itemization, housing, quest zones, UI. Okay. Fixes and improvements, quests, crafting. Quests and zones, crafting, exploration. All right. Quests and zones, exploration, combat gameplay. Reduce player group size limitations from a global max of 24 to 12 in all activities, rather than only in Cyrodiil and Trials. Wow. I know if I open the forums up, I'm going to see this. There are going to be people that are not happy. That's gonna be oh, sorry, yeah. PV groups are going from 24 to 12. I mean, it's right up there. Like it's, I'm telling you, there's certain things like, yeah, the dolmen farming, exactly, yeah. There's gonna be people foaming. Okay. All right. Fix an issue where a target could occasionally appear to have died twice in combat logs. Fix an issue where some abilities that turn into new abilities in conditional situations cannot be used after activating. Fix an issue where the Atro and Serpent-Mundus stones did not apply to your out-of-combat recovery as well. Oh. Fix an issue where status effects, stealth, instantaneous damage would be removed the cast from stealth as well as failing to trigger events. Fix an issue where the guaranteed crit strike and bonus damage from attacks made while hidden in crouch would fail on many attacks. It will now properly grant a guaranteed crit strike on your next direct attack damage. Fix an issue with sneak. Fix an issue where some synergies were occasionally not prompting you to activate them until you left and re-entered the area. Oh, I know that. Following abilities will now deal purely bleed damage rather than physical or a mix of physical and bleed. Oh, wow. Okay. Cutting dive will be purely bleed damage? Does that mean the initial part too? I'm guessing? Like twin slashes? Initial damage is considered bleed? Guys, what is the character template in patch notes? What do you mean? If you log into the PTS, there's an option drop down like on the top left, and you can make a character template. The bleed change is big. Bleed status effect is really strong in PvP. Yeah. Yeah, I'm assuming they mean this is, they're saying it will deal purely bleed damage rather than physical. So it's a matter of how that damage is calculated that'll change there, yeah? Alright. Okay. Bash's damage is now considered a weapon ability since it has a cost. Okay. Pummeling Goliath's Bash is now considered a player class ability. Remove visual and sound effects from each of the following. To reduce battlefield clutter and noise. Graveyard, Lightning Splash, and Nova? They removed the visual of Nova? How are you supposed to see it? Or Graveyard, too. Troll King now is useless. For PvP, it will be, yeah. I don't understand. I don't know. I don't get that one. Yeah, Invisible Nova? Am I just going to be running and be like, "Ugh," and just hit the ground? Be like, what happened? Oh, 25k Nova. Gotcha. Didn't see it. I don't know. Maybe I'm not reading or understanding it right, but the following abilities have received significant adjustments in how the server handles their behavior, reducing messages sent between the client and server, reducing the total amount of area of effect events occurring. This will largely have little to no effect on their gameplay other than improving the response time. It may, but I'm just saying, anytime something breaks, it almost always has this line in it. It's weird. It's weird. You get hundreds and hundreds of changes in a patch, but a handful of items go, this will have little to no effect on their gameplay. And it's like your character becomes like, it doesn't respond, and like everything changes. And they only put it in on things like this. Like just as a reminder, as a cushion to be like, don't worry, it's not going to break everything. But it might. But it won't. But we put it there because it could, but it definitely won't. In some rare cases, it will reduce the interaction with sets that proc off application or buffs or debuffs, since you will no longer repeatedly apply these effects to targets inside the area every tick, but rather for the duration the target is inside the area. Their synergies, when applicable, have also been updated to be far more reliable to activate when in the area, and they will no longer persist for a short duration after each tick, allowing you to activate them in cases where they could fail or were already used, going on cooldown with no effect, or gaining their effect despite already being used. Okay. And that was just a preface for what they're talking about. They're talking about synergies here. So, which ones? These ones. And what they're saying is true. So there's a lot of response issues with synergies. So this very well could be phenomenal and great, because synergies had a lot of response issues. Let's check it out. Blood Altar and Morphs. In an instance where Blood Feast and Blood Funnel are both available, Blood Feast will now always take priority, as it's stronger than Blood Funnel. Bone Totem and Morphs. Boneyard and its Morphs. Cleansing Ritual and Morphs. Both Morphs of the standard. So this will also fix an issue where the Morph version of this ability failed to properly fire its synergy, Shackle, when activated. Lightning Splash, Orbs, Negate. Negate doesn't have a synergy. Nova. Rune Focus. Spear Shards. I guess they just mean the AoE and how it functions for some of the non-synergy ones. Okay. Yeah, synergies are insane right now. I mean, this is what keeps PvP groups rolling out there, baby. Those are all ball group synergies only. Well, yeah, I mean this is what keeps. Yeah, we'll see. Can't see negates either. Wait, does that fall under that too? No, the only ones they removed visual and sound from, for some reason, 3 offensive ones. Like, I get it if I can't see an enemy purify or something, although there's the one that damages. Maybe not the best example. But for example, if an enemy drops a Nova on my group, I would like to know. Like, imminent death for the entire group could be happening. Graveyard. You know, these things all hit for like 15 to 20 plus thousand damage. Lightning Splash can also hit, still over 10, 15. They're heavy hitters. They shouldn't be invisible, probably. I don't know. It's just for the ticks, not for the actual whole ability. For example, when Graveyard ticks, it makes a puff of frost at your feet. That's why they removed it. I see. You're saying, like, active, ongoing art? Like, the Nova kind of has, like, the ball, I guess, but it's only for the dot tick visuals, not the whole ability. Oh, okay. Remove the ticks only. Okay. Thanks for clarifying that. That makes sense. Because, yeah, I was not able to understand that. Okay. With Graveyard, it's synergy, it hits hard. Yeah, exactly. I thought it was actually invisible. Like the stone from Graveyard would be invisible. Okay. So you still get a sun crashing on you before death. Exactly. You'll see it. See it all, and that'd be interesting. The synergies, if they we'll see it. We'll see how they are. That's something you can't test till Friday night, baby, on live servers. Buffs and debuffs, minor lifesteal and magical lifesteal. Both these effects have received significant back-end adjustments to how they operate, fixing many cases where the caster would change context. They are now considered to be sourced from the caster of the effect, rather than the target of the effect. Okay. Minor lifesteal will now exhibit the following behavior. Healing done from the caster of the effect. Healing taken from the trigger of the effect. critical strike chance and bonus of the trigger of the effect. It will continue to not proc events such as healing caused. Okay. Alright. There's some class changes too. Dragon Knight, Dragon Blood, Coag. Fix an issue where this ability appeared to rank up in 1 second duration per rank. Oh. Reduce the cost of this ability to 3780, down from 43, to add an improvement to the morph, rather than just changing its functional. Okie dokie. Molten Weapon. Fix an issue this ability could fail to apply some of its buffs to group members. Okay. Pretty minor stuff there. Necro, Boneyard. This ability's morph now lasts 10 seconds instead of 10.5. This synergy from these abilities now heal the synergy activator rather than the caster. Okay. Death Knell. Reduce the amount of crit chance granted from this passive to 2 and 4% per Gravelord ability, down from 5 and 10%. Wow. That's a lot. It's a big change. Bone Tyrant. Bone Totem. Rework the base operations ability rank of progression to result in the same values at rank 4, but with less decimal places along the way. Okay. Synergy in this Morph's Pure Agony now has a 6-person target cap rather than hitting unlimited. Fix an issue where the final tick of the synergy's damage was not amplified by its own minor vuln. Fix an issue where the damage also caused hit reactions, despite being a dot. Alright, so only real changes here. I mean, the Boneyard heals the cast, the activator, which is nice. This is a big one, though. That's real big. Everything else is negligible. Okay. Nightblade. Shadow Cloak. Dark Cloak. Reduce the healing by 5%. Okay. See you in 3 months, Nightblade. I don't even know why that got reduced by 5%. Okay. Sorcerer. Dark Magic. Negate Magic. The morphs of this ability now tick every 1 instead of every 0.5. Increase the potency of these ticks by 100%. No, I'm sorry, 103.3% to ensure their DPS HPS remains almost the same, as well as fixing an issue where their values were missing rank up progression built into them. Okay. So they double the healing and it ticks at half the pace every 1 second. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. 103.3% actually increase. Okay. Scrolling combat text now properly displays successful silences with these abilities. That'll be interesting. Okay. Storm Calling, Bolt Escape, Ball of Lightning Morph. This ability's projectile absorption now operates more closely to Spell Wall and other abilities that deal absorbing, deflecting range attacks. This should fix a few issues where it could absorb attacks it shouldn't have been able to. Okay. I don't know what they mean that it operates like Spell Wall. Because like Spell Wall's applied to the caster. We'll see. Mage's Fury. Fix an issue where the execute component's abilities morphs were missing rank up progression. Each version of the ability will gain a total of 3.3% damage for the execute single target and AoE component. Okay. Very, very negligible as well. So basically for Sorc, negates healing potential is still the same, but they basically made it tick every 1 second instead of every half second. Probably just take some load off the server. But, you know. Okay. Anyway. All right. Templar, Adric Spear, Spear Shards, Luminous Shards, Morph. This Morph synergy now restores full resources for the Magicka and Stamina granted rather than half of the off stat granted. Okay. That's kind of... I'm not against that. Nasty, thank you for 7 months. Welcome back. Thank you for the resub. Very nice. A lot of people use Orb already because it can hit multiple people. Shard can only be consumed by one person. So it seems nice for small group play. That's a lot of resources, baby. Hell yeah. Thank you again, Nasty. Welcome back. Queen, 25 months. Welcome back as well. Thank you for the resub. Another one. Welcome in. All these Monday resubs rolling in. We have Dawn's Wrath from Templar, the Eclipse skill. Living Dark Morph. This morph now scales off max health or spell damage, whichever results in a higher value, rather than a mix of spell and max magicka. Templars currently have very few tools that they can use as tanks, so we've opted to utilize a unique scaling method here to ensure the ability can be utilized by both defensive and offensive builds. Interesting. Skill's just flat out annoying. But okay. Nova changes. The synergy from this ultimate and Solar Disturbance Morph Supernova now stuns enemies for 3 seconds, up from 2.5. Remove the target cap for the damage, major maim, and synergy damage, plus the stun of all versions of these ultimates. Fix an issue where major maim from these ultimates was applying twice, resulting in more damage reduction than intended. That's big. Like, hot damn, dude. That's yeah, that can hit a lot of people. That can do a lot of damage. But it's not just the damage. The stun too. Like, you could stun 20 people off the synergy then, sitting on a back flag. I mean, I'd ask, like, the other ultimates actually, I'm pretty sure they don't work that way. A lot of skills are capped. But, like, if I synergize DK standard, that shit ain't going to chain down 20 people, you know? No, they removed the stun. What? No, they removed the target cap for the... What? No, what are you saying? Or am I... Remove the target cap for the damage, the maim, the synergy damage, and the stun on all versions of these ultimates. Stun is still there. Yeah, no, it is still there. What I'm saying is, like, for example, if you hit Nova before, you couldn't stun 20 people if there were 20 people standing inside the Nova. It would only hit 6. And this works for most everything in the game. If you drop a standard on 20 people standing on a flag and another guy synergizes it, you will not chain 6 people. And my question is why? Why did they choose to change Nova and not some of the others? You know what I mean? Chat's confusing me. Unless I don't think I'm misreading. I mean, it's one sentence here. Fix an issue or major maim from these ultimates was applying twice, resulting in more damage reduction than intended. Synergy from this morph, Gravity Crush, now has the proper radius of 8 instead of 10. Okay. Increase the damage by 14%. That's a lot of damage. Solar Disturbance Morph. Reduce the base cost of this morph to 225, down from 250. Ultimate now ranks up in duration of major maim applied to the enemies rather than damage done. Maim lasts 7 seconds at base, up to 10 rather than 4 at all. Wow. So yeah, Nova's like real... Wonder why. Wonder why they're like, let's change it up a lot. Let's have it be a rule breaker, as it's called. Dub Mix, thank you. 2 months, welcome back. Thank you for the resub. Plex is lost. It's all good. Thank you, Dub. Welcome back. Welcome back, Templars. Old Templars are coming back in here. I mean, Nova was already, like, amazing. But, I mean, you can look at this as a nerf, and it is definitely a nerf right here. But shit, dude, it's still fucking good. Okay. I've been popping Novas for years, baby. Restoring Light, Cleansing Ritual. The synergy from this ability and Morse no longer requires you to have a negative effect on you to activate. So you can just pick up the heal if you want. Rune Focus, increase the base duration to 17 up from 14. This ability and Morse no longer grant the additional armor when standing in them, but instead they heal you for 4.5% of your max health every 1 second. God damn, dude. Trying to cash in on the make Templar tanks. I don't know. The armor was nice, though. But you can... Alright. This morph now increased duration. Its ability continues to rank up. It doesn't really matter. Increase the magicka. Restored per tick. Okay. Restoring Focus. This morph now increases the healing done by 25%. Ranks up. And healing done by 1% per rank rather than duration. Increase the stamina by... Okay. Reduce the base cost... Okay. Literally, increase the stamina restored to 242, up from 240. Reduce the base cost to 918, down from 920. That 2 stamina may save your life one day, just maybe. Yeah. You're a madman. You got a madman working over there with these numbers, all right? An absolute psychopath, all right? The ODC is like... all right. Warden, Winner's Embrace. I'm excited to read this one. I saw it. Arctic Wind reduced the base heal of this ability and some morphs by 20%, and the heal over time from this ability and some morphs by 17. Don't stop there. Just keep gutting this skill, dude. Let's do 50% and then 70. All right. It's about God. I hate this skill. This is one of the stupidest. Yes, I'm glad. Is it enough, though? Is it enough? Probably not. Probably not. All right, we'll see. Probably not. But good. Fucking good, all right? Weapon, bow, rapid fire, toxic barrage morph. Fix an issue where the dot on this ability failed to apply to its targets that block the attack. This thing also desyncs the shit out of you. Y'all ever been hit with a toxic barrage in Cyrodiil recently? Like, you know that your HP bar just became a fucking illusion. Like, that is not reliable at that point. This thing is a heavy, heavy duty desync. It's called toxic for a reason, yeah. It's brutal, dude. They should just make it an active effect. Like, toxic barrage now applies toxic obscurity and actually hides the real value of your health bar. This was actually intended gameplay. You know, they might as well just be worked in. It's brutal. Anyway, let's move through. Destruction Staff. Elemental Storm. Fix an issue where this ability and some morphs were not considered weapon abilities in some cases. Oh. Okay. Impulse. The flame variance disabilities morphs now better describe the behavior. Fix an issue where the tooltip costs impulse and some morphs were 3510 without the ability slotted. Their actual cost is 3780, which updates you when you apply the ability to your bar with the Destruction Staff equipped. Wall of Elements. Fix an issue where some versions of these abilities were incorrectly labeled as other versions, gaining or missing out of contextual bonuses such as 20% bonus damage from Wall of Fire. Okay. Alright. Some minor stuff, but okay. Dual Wield, Blade Cloak, Deadly Cloak. This ability now deals double damage instead of doubling the tick rate. This will result and about a 9% damage increase, but will require you to stick to your target more and has less of a chance to proc other effects. Yeah. Okay. Lacerate. Fix an issue with this ability. Its morphs were not considered weapon abilities in some cases. Okay. Flurry. Bloodthirst. Fix an issue where the heal. This was not considered a dual wield ability or a weapon ability. A twin blade and blunt passive. This passive now increases your crit damage done with axes by 3 to 6% rather than a measly 2 to 4%. Okay. Twin slashes. Blood craze morph. Fix an issue where the heal from this morph was not considered a dual wield ability or weapon ability. Is this for like the sets? Is that why? Because all these things are getting changed. I think there are certain. I'm trying to think what else. There's certain sets. Maybe it's in the CP system too. Weapon ability, for example. That's probably where it was missing the target and not working properly. I'm trying to think. They're doing this across the board. Weapon ability fixes. Thank you, Cleric. But there's definitely sets, for example, that apply weapon abilities. They fix the damage bonus display not appearing on advanced stats bar. I have no idea. Red Eagle was broken. Yeah. Dual was not working for shit. Well, no, it's working. It wasn't working with some things, like scaling properly with certain either sets or bonuses. And I'm trying to think. I don't know the new CP system well, but if, for example, if there was like weapon abilities in there and you boosted it, it might not tap into your dual wield being boosted because it's like, hey, that's not a weapon ability, right? Stuff like that. That's where it can help. One-handed and shield. The shield charge. Invasion. Fix an issue where the bonus duration on the stun base in your distance could be carried over to another target if you immediately cast the ability. Exploiters. Ban them. Resto Staff. Blessing and Protection. Fix an issue where this ability could force you to cast the ability in directions that were not where your cursor was pointed. Fix an issue where the visuals in this ability and smorts lasted longer if you had Dark Veil passive unlocked. The light shall no longer try to flush out the dark when unintended. Okay. Fix an issue where this ability and smorts are not labeled as healing abilities. So yeah, it's the Resto. Steadfast, fix an issue where this allied targeting shield is not considered a Resto Staff. Yeah, they're kind of doing it across the board. All right, two-handed Cleave, Brawler. Fix an issue where the shield in this morph was missing upper rank progression built into it. This will result in a 3.3% stronger shield. Heavy weapon passive also getting the crit damage done with axes adjusted. Up to 12% instead of 8. That's a lot of damage. There's going to be a lot of axe crit damage builds out there, dude. Reverse Slice Morph. Fix an issue where the AoE component of this ability was not considered a weapon ability. Okay. I feel like reading the same thing over and over. Momentum Rally. Fix an issue where this was not considered a heal in some cases. Made numerous improvements to the ability's stacking heal bonus to reduce cases where the bonus of the heal would remain or be lost in cases where it shouldn't. Okay. Vampire changes. Undeath. Fix an issue where the passive did not work against ground-based attacks, such as volley. Good. Guild. Undaunted. Necrotic Orbs. This ability and smorts now tick once every second rather than every half. Increase the damage per tick of this ability in Mystic Orbs by 16%. Decrease the travel speed of the orb so it's easier to land multiple ticks on low mobility enemies. This will be an overall DPS loss, getting these abilities closer to other AoE dots in power. Note, these will still be stronger than most other dots due to having a higher variance of performance, especially in high mobility in encounters. Fix an issue where the AoE size of the synergy from this ability and its morphs were 7 meters instead of 8. Healing Orbs. Increase the healing per tick of this morph by 38%. This will result in less overall healing, but will still be stronger than most AoE HOTS due to its mobile nature. Assault Tree, Caltrops, increase the damage per tick of this ability by 36%. It will now deal damage equitable to a normal dot ability rather than being weaker than them. Between the change to Caltrops and Orbs, we hope to see a lot less of a disparity in performance between Stamina, Magic, and DPS. We already see many stam-based classes pulling slightly ahead to most Magicka and single target, but are quite a bit behind in Cleave areas where most of the game requires between boss encounters and elite encounters in dungeons and trials. By reducing the bonuses of orbs from being harder to use and improving one of the universally accessible stam AoE dots, we hope to lessen the delta between the two in regards of damage dealing. It's all in the name of PvE. You heard it here. When you're fighting with those guys on the forums and they say, "God damn you PvPers, can't you just go away? Can't you disappear forever? You nerfed my Templar again." Make sure to come here. Let them know. It's all in the name of PvE, sir. We got some champion system updates too. Let's check it out. Slightly, yeah. I don't know. They just fuck up the damage in Mystic Orb? Yeah. Yeah. Fengrush, I haven't played ESO since 8-10 max CP effectively. Is it worth now? Mainly PvP player. Yeah, you can also get CP pretty quick too, if you really want to. I don't think CP is really the concern, whether you're gonna pull off PvP or not. Especially if you're already at least at like 800, you're pretty well off to get your guy in a good situation. My opinion. All right, champion system. In response to feedback that there is still too much vertical progression in the champion point system, we have further reduced the maximum number of stages for passive stars, non-slot available. This will lower the vertical progression cap to 1560 rather than 2100 in the warfare tree. 1626 rather than 2352 in the fitness. This will reduce the maximum power of the champion point system as well. Huh. What are they reducing it to? They said they're further reducing the maximum number of stages for passive stars. Oh, I see. Okay, sorry. I thought they meant, yeah. All right. Reading comprehension for me. So we're not talking about the ones that you slot and put in the thing. They're actually talking about the passive ones. So there you go. How are they doing that? Have they gone through that? So basically having more than that now, for those wondering what does that mean, you can still get up to 3600 CP. It just gives you the options to always have them all filled out, which I don't know. I don't think so right now, Cleric. We don't. No, we're going to get to that here in a little. All right, there's some other things in here. Fitness, the following stars have gone down 2 stages from 4 stages. I see. So they're basically reducing the stages. And, yeah. So they cost less CP. So you need less CP to kind of be capped. Added 6 new stars, or in some case, returning ones. I don't really care to go through these a little bit personally. Overhealing yourself for an ally grants some health, magic, a stam recovery. Okay. Healing yourself for a target under 25% gives them a damage shield. Healing yourself for an ally under 50% gives them minor heroism. Wow. Okay. Mastered Arms increase your damage done with direct damage attacks by 2% per stage. Minor heroism one. I guess these are active though, right? 6 new stars, 4 of which are new and final sub-constellation. These aren't, yeah, these have to be active, right? As in not passive. Instead of 4 times 10 passive, it will now be 3 times 10. Okay. And for the same end value, I imagine, yeah. The effect will be lower, therefore costing less. So they reduce the effectiveness on some? Or are you responding to something else? They're taking away levels, basically, if I'm understanding it correctly. They're taking away how much CP you need to kind of max out your guy on passives in the CP tree. Yeah, at actives, 4 in each tree you could slot, I think, 4. And then you have all these passives, though. There was a lot of passives, especially in, like, you know, the non-green tree. Combat-related ones. And it took a lot to get them all. These are all slotted. Okay, so these are active then. Note, these are all slotted stars. Yeah, it's right up there. Sorry. Okay, good. Master at Arms. Increase your damage done with direct damage attacks by 2% per stage. 5 stages max at 10 points per stage. 10% damage increase with direct damage? Jesus. That's flat 10% on top of all these crit changes, man. When you remove a negative effect, like, dude, people are going to be able to, like, I feel like a Nightblade could, like, just surprise attack you, and you're going to take, like, 20,000 damage at this point. Like, you're really going to be able to stack, like, some power with some setups. When you remove a negative effect from yourself or an ally, you heal them and allies within an 8-meter radius of them for 1280 health per stage, 5 stages max. Okay. Weapons Expert. Increase your damage done with light and heavies by 3% per stage, 5 at max. 15% at max. Okay. It's just light and heavies, though. All right. Master at Arms is good. That's it's any major berserkers in the chat. The following stars have gone down to 2 stages from 4. Okay. Also increase the effectiveness of passive to 5% per stage, up from 2 to make up for the mitigation loss in PvE. All in the name of PvE. You heard it here first. Nightblade actual one-shot builds, yeah. You're going to be able to rip and tear, dude. Okay. Some CP changes in there, then. Items and sets. Fix numerous issues where dealing damage with a set against a damage shield would not proc events based off the damage done, such as Crimson or Ring of the Pale Order's healing. Updated several item sets that they require melee damage to better describe them. Martial melee damage used to denote. Okay. So we have martial melee damage, magical melee damage, and melee damage. Or melee damage, as some people like to call it. I'm using my melee on them. The following sets now proc off, taking any melee damage, rather than only martial. Martial's physical. Okay. What the hell is magical melee damage? Like Nightblades, Nightblade comes in, right? All right. Anything under 7 meters. Okay, following sets now proc off physical melee damage. That's Wind, Dragon's Defilement, Night Terror, Lava Whip, yeah. So like close range stuff. Yeah. So yeah, I mean the list goes on. There's plenty of things. Okay. That's Wind, yeah. All right, item sets that proc events that deal damage are now heal. Now scale similarly to abilities based off specific stats, which will now be called out in the tooltip. Check each section to see which sets scale with what. The following scaling methods are currently available, which may expand or change in the future. Damage-focused proc-based events will scale with the higher of your weapon or spell damage. You must have 5478 weapon or spell damage to reach the original value of many sets. Healing-focused proc-based events will scale with the higher of your max magicka or stamina. You must have 38,000 max magicka or stamina to reach the original value of many sets. It's for healing. Tanking-focused proc-based sets will either scale with your max health, or in some cases will use the higher of your physical or spell resist. You must have 38,350 max health, or 2,700 physical or spell resist to reach the original value. So it sounds like it's going to take the greater of one of them. What happens when one is grossly inflated? right? Like a tanking focused proc based set will scale off my max health. Well, what if I'm a fucking Necro with 120,000 health running around in clown form with Crimson? Is that shit gonna hit for like 15,000 damage then? Am I gonna drain the very life and will of all the players around me to play the game? It's interesting because certain people can poke these values a little higher than others, you know? 50k max HP Wardens with huge heals. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, certain people can really, especially in this patch now, can really push past these, right? If you're telling me I needed 5,400 to reach the original value of a proc set, I mean, the thing is, like, you can really push past those numbers rapidly in a group setup, which actually makes some of those proc sets then stronger, right? Like, my Vicious Death could be like 50% stronger in group play when I am grouped up with 3 guys boosting my spell damage, you know? Does it count buff food for calculation? I mean, yeah. It'll be interesting. So what 8k weapon damage to proc is... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, to get to those numbers, generally you have to put on other stuff. Really where these things will get grossly inflated is in good group comps, actually. Good group comps not only cover your sustain and defense, but they're the ones that can help really launch these sets into a higher category. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, 5.4k is not that much anymore. It used to be a lot, not so much anymore. So you can't easily stack spell damage. Yeah, you're not wrong, but like you can still get pretty high. And again, there's multiple buff sets. You get minor, major carriage, and then there's still a couple that do flat adjustments. And suddenly you get an extra like 15,000 spell damage on top of your extra 1,000 spell damage since the CP rework. And suddenly, I mean, generally you don't build spell damage as a DPS. You focus max magic and kind of bounce it out there. But you can if you want. You certainly can. It'll be interesting to see how it turns out. Weapon damage can get much higher. Yes, that is correct. For Stam, there's no trade-off. I mean that's like not true though. I'm talking about group play. Can a Stam boost their weapon damage much higher than 5.4 without making the same sacrifices? Yes. I was simply talking about in group play, and in group play, I find that interesting because you don't have to make those sacrifices as a DPS. Group comps can cover that. Long and the short of it is I'm just saying, like, from multiple things here, from just synergies working better to everything, like, group play is just through the roof powerful, man. Just powerful. Just seeing group play increasing in power. This will be interesting, though. This will have to be tested on the PTS, some of these things. There's definitely some outliers. In any event, what's happening here is you can just flip on a proc set, like 3 proc sets, like a 5-piece, a 5-piece, and like a 2-piece, or 2 5-pieces and a Malakath, and then just put everything in a survival sustain or something, and do a shitload of damage through 2 great proc sets. What they're saying is you have to invest in your stats to make those proc sets effective. The same good proc sets will still be the effective ones, though, yeah. So, yeah. Magicka builds the meta. No, Magicka and Stam are both very good. It's not one of them is a meta, for example. And group play Magicka is generally your meta. But frankly, I mean, yeah. Not many people are ready to put the efforts in to design group comp. Most people just Zerg surf nowadays, running their own thing. Yeah, I mean, there are still very good groups running out there, and those good groups can do some real interesting shit here. I mean, getting buffed in an apartment where, frankly, I don't think like they kind of need buffs. I don't mind them like giving buffs in a sense of like synergies work better and that buffs them. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that because like they should work. I'm not like anti-group. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying they already are very effective. It's really like all the heal stacking and the purge spam, and then like, man, like I'm just seeing different ways they can more efficiently skin the same cat that they have been with ease here. And it's just like getting better. That's all I'm saying. You know, it reads like a step in the right direction. Oh yeah. So let me step back. Like as far as proc sets go, this is kind of what people have been asking for, in that you can't just put on the proc set and it does all the work. Now you need your stats to bounce out and complement it for it to be effective. So in that respect, yeah, it's not like bad. It is a blanket application. Understand that. What I mean by that is it's blanketed across the board. The proc sets that were already very good before will be the ones that are still the good ones. So the ones that you hated will still be there. And in certain setups, I mean, they're either going to be better than stat-based or not. There's a few that do, and for certain reasons. Some are like better than others. Usually it's the fact that some of them can cause heavy burst. And right now this is a meta where burst matters. Sometimes it's like pressure your target out, but pressure really hasn't been around for a while. It's mostly just like deleting your target right now with like 40,000 damage or something. And almost pretty much every class can set up that way to do that. Smaller groups now though. I mean, for PvP it's unchanged. Cross healing's still in there though, so it doesn't matter. 8 two-hand are going to be good. Yeah. All in all, these like 5,400 weapon damage for stand builds isn't hard to reach since the rework and the added weapon damage. But yeah. Anyway, it's interesting. Change this section right here. Again, there obviously will be gross outliers. Like the Necro one will be weird. For sure. And I guess how do they dictate it? I didn't sit down and like think about some of the proc sets, but like how do you say, oh, that proc set is a tanking focus set, so that's going to scale off that? Or like, no, I'm sorry, that one is actually physical. In a lot of cases, it's pretty clear cut. I'm not sure off the top of my head if there are some differences, but or like sorry, not differences, some gray areas where it could be one or both, or some that might just be broken and scale off something wrong. It'll be up to the players to test a lot of this shit and figure it out, but there's going to be some gross outliers, I think. Harbingers, I don't know how they'll control Harbingers variants other than just keeping it the way it is. But maybe it will. Maybe it'll scale up and be like, yeah, reflects 10% of damage while being a necromancer. You're a god, dude. You know, and suddenly a dude just immediately kills himself. Like, keep going. They list all the sets. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I probably should. Yeah. Ability altering weapons. The following sets now scale off weapon or spell damage, whichever's higher. Okay, I'm not gonna like kind of read all these, but this is good to know for those planning or trying to work towards things. Following sets now scale off max health. Puncturings, remedy heal. Precise regen, increase the magic on proc this from. Okay. Crafted. The following sets now scale off weapon and spell. Okay. Max magic or stamina. I got these. It's fucking weird. Cold Harbor's damage is here and its healing is here. The following sentinel scales off your max health. Wait. Wait, this can't be it. Like, there's other sets in the game. There's a lot of sets in the game, right? Are these only crafted? Dungeon and Arena. Yeah, like, there's no point in me just reading set names off out loud here. It's basically, if you're interested in sets, you can use this place as a reference for now. And understand where it falls. Because when you make a build with one of these sets that proc some kind of damage, like Sheer Venom or Sunder Flame, you're gonna want to properly work that in your build and build to something towards it, which also works for the class as well. So there's a lot in here. Crimson Twilight's damage scales off max health. Amber Plasm just flat changed. Archer's Mind increased the crit damage and healing to 8, up from 6. Increased the bonus while sneaking. Jesus Christ, dude. How much crit damage do they want people to absorb? Like, what's gonna happen, dude? I hear Harbingers, what's going on? Was that one even in here? Well, we have to go by section, so it's not crafted. It's not a monster mask. Bowler's Embrace increase the magic granted from this set. Malkath. This set now increases your damage done by 16%, but reduces your crit damage by 50%, rather than increasing your damage done by 25% and making you unable to deal crit damage. It's still good. But I don't know, you can pump your crit damage, and that's a punch in the balls to it. Maybe if you're not a crit damage build. I don't know how I feel about that. Even better reason to wear the broken helm, yeah. Alright, sure, Fox. I don't know how good or bad the changes, but the level of unnecessary complexity is set. Specific detail change introduces makes me think they have a set plan of action. Well, yeah, I mean, they're trying to figure out the proc issue, you know? Ring of the Paler, increase the amount of healing done to the set to 20% of your damage, up from 18. Now lose a percent of its value per group member you're with. This means if you are alone, it will stay at 20, but reduce to 8 if you're with others. And to 0 with 5 or more. Remove the heal cap. Following sets now scale of weapon. Alright, there's Overland. Because it's interesting. A lot of proc sets have kind of shitty 2 to 4 pieces bonuses, but some have some real good ones where they become good sets in this environment, and others aren't. Others are kind of just totally dead. There's Vicious Death in there. Sorry, I'm just kind of scanning through this. Harbinger, reduce the damage scaling of this set to 5% of your max health on proc, down from 7. Oh, they just straight nerfed it. I'd be really interested to see what the Crimson tooltip is on the PTS, though, when in ult. I mean, that's something like that. They could put a hard cap, but they'd have to do it for everything. Like, because Necro ult and Vampire ult will launch your health up. And then it just becomes gross for any set that scales off health, right? But you can also jack your health up a lot. Like, what was the health? What health did you have to be at for the set to be where it was before? 38.3k max health. Like, you can, like, triple that value right off the bat. Yes, you can, like, technically get up to, like, 100k on pretty much anyone. But you can easily move past that. Like, right now, that's, like, a safe amount of health to go into fucking Cyrodiil with. What happens when it's, like, just double that? Right? I don't know. It'll be interesting. Might not be an issue for the sets listed because I'm not really going through making a mental note of all of them, but it'll be interesting to see some of them. Yes, you can, question mark. What? You can't get 100k unless you're Emperor. Oh, yeah, you can. Welcome to ESO. That's very possible. What is Crimson? It's a set that does an AoE damage and heals you off it. I think the new Mythic adds more health transformation. It does, yeah. What's going on? What's up, JW? I'm being yelled at. Okay. You ready for Stam Nightblade with Axes and Malakath? We're going to be walking around. Man, they are going to... All right. Let's see what other things we got. Who's being dumb? No, it's okay. It's just like... I don't know. I don't know why you think you can't. Like, I'm just going to make up numbers that aren't achievable. Like, for what? For the sake of just being like, yeah. You know, but like, I'm not just making shit up. All right, Battlegrounds. Fixes improvements. Made some minor improvements to Battleground queue matching, preventing some cases where the queue could get stuck with smaller number of players. Okay. I had a Battleground yesterday. Or, no, it was the day before yesterday. Where I had level 14 on my team. And I was killing a level 20 guy who screamed at me in all caps and PMs, called me many names that break many terms of services. But good luck with that BGQ. I hope it works better each time. It breaks. It doesn't work well. I got 1 BG in an hour the other day. I like BGs. It's just I wish the queue was better. I really do. It leaves a lot to be desired right now. Because BGs are pretty fun, even if you get some crappy matches. What sucks is if you get crappy matches and then you have to wait 35 minutes to get in the next one, and it's over in 5 minutes, and people are screaming at you because it's a domination mode and you wanted to actually PvP. By the way, why isn't it in here? Battlegrounds, bullet point, right? Added a function to queue for deathmatch only, comma. This way, PvP players can PvP, period. Next sentence. PvE players will no longer have to yell at PvP players while they're trying to do their daily, capturing flags and holding block, and lecturing them about tactics. I'm tired of it, man. If I do Battlegrounds, PvP, I want to go in and PvP. I do not want to be yelled at by a perma blocker, 5-star, that does under 10k damage and 0 healing. I do not want to be yelled at by him. I don't want him in my match. Like, these are separate goals, all right? I would like a feature added if we do split the queues where I can actually spectate those matches. I want to see a domination game mode with 12 people that have no desire to PvP, and I just want to see what happens. I honestly think it'd be some of the best content to just watch what happens when 12 perma blockers are put into a match because you split PvP queue off and let the PvPers PvP, and then just let all these motherfuckers march around with their shields standing on a flag, just like bashing each other. I fucking love to see it. I would love to. Anyway, it needs to happen. It doesn't make sense. Please put deathmatch only. It can't be that hard. I know the response will be, Fengrush, we don't want to segment the battleground queue because it might get too slow. Let me tell you, you will actually have an increase in people queuing for deathmatch only because they will actually just get deathmatches. And they'll go, yay, I can queue for PvP and get PvP. Woo! Like, people are going to enjoy that. And then, on the other hand, people that just want to queue to do their daily and get a daily thing, and they have capture the flag or something, they can go fucking do it. And these two differences don't have to clash, because they do right now. They naturally clash. These are two different audiences. You got to understand that these are just two different people going into this with different mindsets, different goals, different interests, right? So, I don't know. Just an idea. I mean, it's more than an idea. It's a request. Let's do it. Segmenting that BGQ will not slow it down. I guarantee you. Let's get it done. I just play every match as deathmatch and ignore the objective targets. But that's what I'm saying, is you get yelled at by them. And listen, it's not about being yelled at by them. That's not what we're trying to avoid. What we're trying to create is having matches where the intention is you put 12 players into a PvP match to PvP. You don't be like, hey, there's 4 PvPers in this match and there's 8 people looking to get their daily done. Because that doesn't create something that you want to do. You know? That's all. So, it just doesn't make sense. When you could queue for deathmatch only, it was a little better in that you just got, like, if you queued in that, like, you didn't have a dude that's like, sorry dude, I'm just here to do my daily and I'm just fucking queued for deathmatch only. Like, no, they just queue for whatever and they'd get their random BG daily done. It was very different then. Now it's something else, and it just doesn't really make sense, right? Because I can yell about this till I'm blue in the face, but like, domination mode is not a PvP mode. I cannot sit down with there is not a developer that exists in this world that can sit down and tell me that is a skilled PvP mode, or that is a PvP mode that requires PvP. Like, it isn't. It's not. There's 4 fucking markers on the flag or on the map to catch. Like, it's not. The best thing to do is avoid PvP. This has been proven time and time again. If you actually avoid the fights on flag capturing matches, you win. So maybe split it off and be like, avoid PvP game mode, because that's where that one goes. Like, it is not made with PvP in mind. It doesn't make sense. It's crap. But some people really like it, right? But they're not the people that like to queue into a battleground and PvP. They might say they do, but their concept of PvPing is avoiding the fight and saying, hi, I'm deploying high-level tactics. And they're running around, they're fucking 1 in 10. They haven't done a dick all in any fight. And they're like, yeah, I'm just a fucking really smart guy. That's my specialty on the battlefield. I have really high IQ, and I make it to the flag. You know, like, I don't need it. Like, put that in a different match, man. It doesn't make sense. I don't want to. I don't know. It's bizarre it hasn't been put in. It really is. Like, to me, it's a testament that no one's watching these things. No one's watching Battlegrounds. And I need someone to watch those Battlegrounds and be like, wow, why is Fengrush in this BG with a level 14 that's yelling at him? Isn't this one of our endgame PvPers? You know, the guy's yelling at me to capture the flag, and he's crazy. Anyway, I like domination because I can get by with my PV healer and win my daily random with it. Totally get it. Totally get it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying to delete the modes. I'm saying to separate the queues. And people can do that. I don't want to sit here and shit on other people or other players. It's not my goal. Reality is, when you put these two different audiences together in those environments, it's all, you see it on, I've seen it on the forums plenty. Like, there's just a clash. You're not going to have these two different mindsets agree. And that's okay. That's why you create the option. But right now, there is no option. That's why I'm saying, can we create the option? And then, if you want to, and PvP healers are great. Like, you need healers in PvP. They're probably the most important role in the team. If you get a team with a healer and the other two don't have it, 90% of the time, the team with the healer wins. With that said, you can play whatever you want, but, like, there should be a deathmatch mode where you're just like, hey, we focus on PvP, right? That's all. Felix, thank you for 22 months. Welcome back. Thank you for the Prime. Okay. Look, even Maggio's in here talking. Now you know we're hitting the point. Do tanks have any uses? They can. Yes, I can briefly describe tanks can provide utility in your battleground experience. Generally, they should be there to get in the enemy's face and debuff. 9 out of 10 times, they are not doing this. They are just walking around with block. Occasionally, someone might accidentally be rooted. What I'm talking about is rooting on cooldown, stunning people, aggressively, like, debuffing the tank. 9 out of 10 tanks in PvP are selfishly built. What I mean by that is they never took the time to work on their build and say, how much do I actually need to tank? Because I should take that to a minimum, and I should add in as much utility as I can. Instead, they go, how tanky can I get? Wow. Hey, maybe I can get tankier. Wow. And there's no, that's it. That's all there is. And as a result, they're not doing anything. They're just like, I'm fucking unkillable. Look at me. No one's taking this guy down. And his whole fucking team's dead. And the enemy team is 50 meters behind him, running to fight the next team. And he's like, no one's fucking killing me. Like, a tank like that doesn't do anything. Your job should be to leverage as much utility as possible in the fight. Debuffs, constantly rooting or stunning targets at the right time, building ult, providing buffs to the group, running buff sets. These are the things you generally do in a tank. Frankly, right now with the way PvP is and it's so bursty, a pure tank doesn't really have much use case. In a more classic MMORPG format, it definitely would and has in the past. I've run kind of like what would be a tank build as you're describing. Right now, everyone is just like running around with high damage stats. Like, after reading everything in here, I'm kind of concerned that that's not an issue. I'm kind of concerned that the passive stats are not an issue. It just seems like everything's really operating from a spreadsheet, and that everything at the end of the day is being bounced at a bit of a distance. Like, PvE is so easy to control. That's not a statement made to offend PvE, because it's not, but it's very easy to control. I have a set amount of damage. Tomorrow in the next patch, I could double that damage. Fuck it, man. I could triple that damage. And you know how I match it on the other end? I triple the mob's health, too. And suddenly, these things are still equal. It doesn't work on the same side with PvP, because there's other factors to take into place. If you triple the damage and I don't triple my ability to pop on armor, well, suddenly I'm just going to get leveled. And it's a matter of how quick. Right? So, like, I don't know. It's very concerning. I've seen the damage. It's not just the damage. The healing's gone up too. Stats have gone up. General stats have gone up dramatically. And the offset is not really there. And there are some very grossly effective ways to mitigate some of this high damage, either through certain things like certain classes or something like blocking with Sword and Board. And these things are already overperforming, and their overperformance makes them the requirement that's needed. I see another mythic in this patch note that will help mitigate some of that damage. So these are some of the things that it's like, again, I feel it's a bit of a bounce at distance. I don't think so. I don't know what the vision is. Boy, how long have I been saying that? What the fuck's the vision? I don't understand it with the PvP because it doesn't feel as much of, you know, like coming back to this tank thing. Like I used to want to have someone in the fight that like provided certain utility. It's not anymore. It's like, yeah, stack your damage to this, put on this shit, and then just fucking one-shot them, baby. Woo! And you're on to the next one. This patch speaks more of that. I'm seeing a lot of like crit damage boost and shit. I'm seeing certain things that are going to level people even more so immediately. Like that's not the vision. Like a proper for me, in my opinion. For me, my RPG experience, I want a balanced approach to things. I want to be able to either I want to kill, you know, the enemy in different ways. Maybe I want to leverage some pressure on him. Maybe I want to wear down on his resources. Maybe I want to go for a burst, but it really requires a certain target and a certain way of opening the target up for it. Like that shit's just not, it's not really seen in that way. That's all I'm saying. And it actually was there more so before. Like there was actually a bounce in these different categories, whether it's mitigation, sustain, health, damage. There was different ways to approach these situations. And it seems some of them lose their value and it becomes very one-dimensional in how you approach the situation. How do we burst it? Boom, right? That's all. Does this make sense? Or I don't know. I had 2 tanks in my last BG. They were completely worthless. Yeah, and I'm not trying to attack tanks. Like, if you take, like, a pure PV tank and put it into to do your daily, I get it. Like, believe me, I get it. There's a lot of people that want to do their dailies, and you should. You get a lot of shit from it, like, XP-wise. You should be doing it. But the way the system's set up is, like, queue for daily, get in a BG match with people that want to, like, PvP, and, like, you're not there for it, dude. And, like, that's okay. You shouldn't have to dress up your character for PvP if you don't want to do that daily. I can't believe I'm saying this. It's 2021, and I've learned to just be like, it's okay if you want to queue for the PvP mode and not PvP. Fuck it. Let them do it. Just give us a separate department so I can just PvP with the PvP people. That's what I'm asking for. I get it. They want to do their daily. That's fine. Let them do the daily. But god damn it, like, why is it not split off? It just doesn't make sense. It's weird. That's all. All right, this is where we've come to. I don't know, dude. I don't know. This is where it's at. Like, things change, all right? It was different, like, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Things were different, all right? Bar's a little lower. I get it. Bar's getting lowered everywhere I go. But that's how it goes. There's a population there for deathmatch only queue, though. Yes. Yeah, it would be, actually. There would actually be more people interested in doing it. And you know what? If it wasn't, switch it back. Or just turn it off. Just be like, you know what? We've had the BG PvP deathmatch only queue going, and no one's playing a game anymore for PvP. You know? Fuck it. Turn it off then. But I'm saying the way it's set up right now is not a good PvP experience. And it is a PvP game mode. All right? That's all. So. Any event, those are some combat takeaways. I really am like, I didn't play much of the first patch because I figured it was kind of a beta with the CP rework and seeing how things landed and how combat flows. And the only thing I'm seeing is increases of damage in a lot of ways in this patch, whether it's through certain sets, Not dramatic flat damage increases, but we already had a dramatic flat damage increase. Like, I would like someone to come out and say, we reworked the CP. You know, here's how we feel things are. You know, it's easy if you never, like, say something like that. Like, you come and you be like, after wildly changing the system and all the numbers, we feel it kind of landed here. We kind of want it more over here. We're going to do this. Like, if there's nothing stated on it, then it's not going to happen. And you're never wrong because you never had a fucking vision laid out to begin with, right? Or a plan. Or to be like, yeah, we like this experience. It's wildly bursty out there, man. It really is, like, right now. And, yeah, there's a lot of, like, holes, and they don't require dramatic overhauls or reworks in the PvP department. But there's some things, I just don't get it, man. Like, for me, you know, it's an opinion. Some of you guys might like it, but I haven't been enthralled with Q1's bounce patch, numbers-wise. And I just don't see, like, any kind of change with it here, like, at all. I don't even see it as addressed. I don't even see it as, like, a potential problem or being, or just anything. I don't see anything on it. There's, you know? That's all. And I would like that. I would actually like that to be addressed and looked at. So more damage should not be bad at all. At least better than the tank meta, right? Is it? I don't know. If a dude's got a sword and board up with block, I'm still not killing him. You know, that's part of the gross disparity. Is I can hit somebody for like 10k, and they throw up a block, and they're like in execute range, and suddenly I'm hitting them for like 3k. I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? You know, and then their heals are ticking for like 2 to 5k. That's heal over times. So that doesn't make sense. No. And that's a terrible way to just look at it. To be like, at least it's not this shit. You know, it's this shit instead of this shit. Like, why can't we just like be like, listen, we came from that shit. Let's just move to something that's better, and not be like, no, it's all right. We'll take different shit. Like, at least for me, you know, I know some people probably like it, and that's fine. I just see like a lot of some things just kind of go missing in the RPG gameplay experience for me. That's all. What's up, Merce? How you doing? Is block not supposed to work? That's your response to me saying that? What, is block not supposed to work? Block is not supposed to be I held this down, and I am actually playing a Necro or Warden today, so God bless it, I'm going to fucking heal to full now. Get fucked, nice try. Unless you burst me down instantly while CC'd, it ain't happening, bub. No.
Hello, cutie pie.
No, the answer is block not supposed to work. It's not supposed to work like that. Okay? These kind of, like, polar response type shit, it doesn't mean a hill of dicks out here. Like, I don't even know why you say that. Like, Punish and Protect. Thank you for gifting an M. Fisher and 1,000 bits. Thank you, dude. Wow. Thank you, man. That's what stuns that break block are for. Yes, it is. Yeah, except when they're already on cooldown. And then they have 40k health. And they happen to be playing a Necro, which has a shitload of passive mitigation. I'll tell you what. You go out there on the battlefield and slam. You seem no better than I. Doesn't happen. Doesn't work that way. That's the problem. That's exactly the issue. So no, it mitigates way too much damage, actually. For what it costs to do. It mitigates way too much for what it costs. Is it Chim raid? Chim! Thank you, dude. We're just talking patch notes. Still didn't show. I gotta fix my Streamlabs. This is the second time it's broke, dude. Welcome in. Chimney Swift 11. A god. Another content creator. Give him a follow. Used to do ESO. Does all sorts of stuff. He's out there sailing on the high seas now and Sea of Thieves, man. Thank you, dude. Thank you for the raid. Welcome in. We're just talking some afterthoughts. I don't know if there's anything more actually in the patch notes to read, but I don't know. I don't bother. Someone who builds super tanky won't be able to kill in the upcoming patch. If they want to tank, let them. You're missing the point, man. Like, you think I'm talking about tank players. I'm not. I'm talking about actual damage dealing builds that have 40k health and have sword and board. And you're like, okay, what else? That's all it takes on some of the classes because of how they work. That's how it works. Okay? It's silly. That's all. And that's okay. It's not the only thing outstanding out there. But you know, it's just an example. It's, so I don't know. But it's very bursty. And my point is there are other things. It's not like that's what block's for. It's like you just become a fortress instantly. And because they have such high offensive stats, I'm talking max stam, weapon damage, for example, they can heal themselves up because their heals are based off that. So their heals hit very hard, and so does their damage. Yet they still have a lot of health. And basically what is happening is you're having people that make gross builds on certain classes that don't have weaknesses. And this is a balance issue. When you create a meta where you can die very quickly on some setups, and other ones become, as people are saying, the tank meta. Like, the tank meta is not much different than that. We have sets that were the best, like Fury, in place, which naturally made you tanky on shit exactly like I'm describing. You flipped the sword and board, you took damage, you healed efficiently, and you turned around and cut loose the highest damage that the battlefield could offer. No, this isn't balanced. This isn't right. That is not how you do it. Okay? That's all. It's the same problem with proc sets. It's correct. You could forfeit your stats and have the procs do the work. Same issue. Coming around though. Maybe holding dot increases dot damage. I'd be open to all sorts of ideas. Part of what I'm saying is not the issue that block's not nerfed. I'm not trying to hone in on one issue as much as I am talking about that. I'm trying to hone in on the fact that I want to see that, like, discussion. To be like, here's where things are at. Because I don't feel like, after the CP rework, and, like, how the CP tree looks, and all the points, and all that shit, it's great. I don't give a shit about that. I'm not complaining about anything in it. I'm talking about, Joe, who put in the CP changes, decided to just give everybody 1,000 weapon and spell damage, float another couple thousand in your stats, fuck it, dude, whatever. And suddenly, the entire environment changes, damage-wise. You know? And it's just like no afterthoughts. Not like, it's where it should be or whatever. I like the direction of the last few patches, and some will. Some people are totally going to agree with me, and that's fine. I'm not thrilled with that, personally. That's all. That's a big class issue, in. It is. It absolutely is, Jason. A lot of people know here that are high-level PvPers. There's some issues with certain classes. Okay. And there was no real class changes here. There's no touch on, like, here's where combat is. It's done at a distance. It's just like, and I just wanted to see more of that. That's all. Personally, that's all. You know. There's lots of ways you could deal with block. I honestly think the one in PvP works. Like, that I've talked about, where as you hold block down, you slowly get like a debuff that will wear down your sustaining ability. And that wouldn't even be punishing in a lot of cases. It'd frankly impact, even if it was PvP only. But honestly, my opinion, I think it's boring as fucking PvE that you just hold down block like the whole fucking time, dude. It's just my take, all right? I prefer reactive combat. Not like, am I a tank and I'm engaged in PvP? let me put on my helmet and hold down that right mouse button for the next 20 minutes. Like, it just doesn't make sense. You can just use skills through it. Whatever. Don't get me started on it. It's just not for me, maybe. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the patch notes, right? Did I miss anything? I'm not sure if I did. I think we got everything, right? You already don't have stam regen while blocking. You're correct. I'm saying after, like a debuff that hangs, right? That's what I was talking about. Like if I held it down for 5 seconds, it would dissipate over the next 5 seconds after. Right. You see the last post about health recovery? Yeah, I heard. They halved it in Cyrodiil too. Yeah. Someone said that. We read that earlier. Yeah. Battle Spirit halved HP regen. Yeah, I heard that. How about we leave the sword and board tree alone? It's been thrown up. I know. Believe me. I don't even want to give the suggestions. You have everyone coming out the woodwork. I know. It only gives me 10k penetration, boss. It's time to stop. Please. What am I supposed to do with this thing? That's huge, actually, half HP. It is. It's very significant, yeah. It absolutely is. Do you think the new scale... Yeah, we can just do questions or something. Do a couple questions if we have anything. When is the PTS going live? Should be live today, right? How dare you? I have to taunt the boss manually every 20 seconds. I know. Next, we'll be saying, the Resto staff has been through enough, Fengrush. You motherfuckers, I've been using two-hander for years on a goddamn class that had no fucking skills for the first 3 of them. All right? Two-handed Stam Sork out there, swinging and... That's all I have. That shit's been straight. They destroyed my dizzying swing. I used to knock people up in the air. Don't tell me what you've been through, okay? Don't tell me. Get out of here. Where does Sword and Board Arctic Blast spam PvPers at? They're out there. They're in the chat. All right? They're lurking in here like, fuck this guy. I will have 43,000 health on my Warden with 8k weapon damage. I will spam Arctic Blast to full health every time. You goddamn right. My ass, it's broken. Okay. What's up, Seisha? Do we have any questions or thoughts, or what do you guys think in here? What do you guys think on the patch notes? Yeah, my stems are used to walk to school and back uphill both ways. Y'all don't even know. You need to build out of nothing, that goddamn thing. Why was Harbinger nerfed? I'm not sure of the exact answer. Probably because it was pretty annoying and effective on necro health tanks. I think they'll have to do some other adjustments for those things. That was mentioned in the patch notes review. I wanted Stam DK change. I think it's starting to fall behind. They're pretty good. Honestly, a lot of classes are like... Don't get me wrong, like, every class can actually, like, kill pretty well right now. Certain classes just have, too much stacked in favor. As far as, like, mitigation and healing, really. Whereas some others don't have as effective. With all that said, class, they didn't do much class changes here. There's not really much any class changes happening anymore. Right? Like how it's been a few patches now, right? Last patch was CP rework. This is like an adjustment to proc sets as far as combat goes. No class changes again. I forget what happened before the last patch, Q4, Q3 last year. I forget what happened, honestly. I can't even remember.
Hello, cutie pie.
It escapes me. Jilly, welcome back in for 18.
One of
Scrib,
us is
thank
in
you.
Deep trouble.
Thank you, thank you. Fair's question, is there a future for hybrids? So hybrids can actually get great stats and put out good pressure. But again, as far as from a PvP perspective, and frankly, even for PvE, you min-max. And what the game has failed to do to make hybrids as effective, with that said, you can actually like dress up a nice hybrid right now. Like real good damage and stuff. And you can even work in some skills. The problem is you generally min-max to a point and focus on one. Because it's not just their weapon damage, it's also like the penetration and everything, right? And also the crit chance. And there's a lot of stuff that complements both. But I guess what I'm saying is like, if I'm making my Stamsorc 2H build, like where am I gonna fit in like Magicka there, right? You can actually, I could plant like an Endless Fury because it's a pre-execute. Like I can place it on them, go in and burst a lot of damage, push them into range, and then it would fire. But like outside of stuff like delayed burst, there's no real reason to invest in it, and that's the problem with hybrid. Does it mean they're bad? No. You can actually like run a hybrid build and kick the shit out of some people. It just means they're not playing like a proper build to the best they can. Like one or the other. They might be using like a straight meta build and are kind of junky or whatever it may be. But why are they not like optimal is kind of because of that. That's all. Like you will go much further being like, yeah, I have 8k weapon damage, 16,000 physical penetration, and not being like, yeah, I got 5.5k weapon damage, 6k spell damage, about 10k penetration on both sides. It's looking pretty good. Looks like I can hit him from both angles. They don't give a shit because the way you even build your character defensively doesn't give a shit about that either. That's a missed opportunity of depth in the characters. There's like this is part of what I'm saying. There is depth stripped from the game in certain parts. Like you used to do more things like building your character to be like, this is good health to survive certain types of classes that might burst me. This is good sustain. This is a good way to deal with classes like this. This is enough damage to address this here and put pressure. It's just like, do I have 40k health and can I fuck someone in like 40 fucking damage in a second? Hell yeah. And that's it. It's so one-dimensional and it drives me nuts. I don't like it. I don't like how simple it becomes, you know? And that's part of what I'm seeing. Like I don't find like a vision in making that fight interesting anymore. You know? But we'll see. Like the set changes are cool. The set changes are a great one. But like it's from like a class and gameplay perspective. And really I think they needed to tone back the weapon spell damage adjustments in the CP rework. I really do. I think it's too much. It's too much. That's all. It took a lot of enjoyment out for me when I'd go out and do different stuff. Because like I can evaporate people. I'm using a 2H build it's just unnecessary right now. I'm like, cool. I have generally good stats. I'm using old sets. And I over-damage most people. Unless they're blocking, in which case I'm doing worthless damage. It's just silly. They're not blocking. Dudes get blasted. I don't need to ult them. I don't even get a dizzying swing off on half the players I hit. I go in with a gap closer, do a light attack, dudes at half health. I'm like, why am I using a 2H right now? I could just do a heavy attack with dual wield, streak them, and execute. But you know what? I like to try to live the dream sometimes and have a little fun with it because I haven't got to use 2H in a while. But whatever. Strobx, this stream, that lad needs health. He is mental health needed. Copy that. Appreciate that. This stream is death. Okay. I think that person, he might need to be escorted. This stream is Tez8. Yeah, I don't even think that's a person, actually. Anywho, with all that said, I don't know how everything will pan out on the PTS. We'll see, and I will. I probably won't be doing. I'm not going to be doing PTS this week. I might in the latter weeks. That's usually what I do. There's usually like some bugs or something not working or something in the first week or two, and that's okay. I used to do those more, but I am going to see if I can do more builds this patch. With all that said, I am going to see. I may try to pump some builds because I know people do want builds and stuff like that and still want to. And yeah, we'll see. I might be doing that. So look for that stuff. Thanks for stopping by. Right. Does anyone have any other questions or anything though on the patch notes before we wrap up the patch notes portion? Yeah, sorry, that this is not that kind of environment. This is just patch notes time. Who's that, Gorman? And me? Am I flexing? How about a pull stream? Yeah, it's cold as shit in Colorado right now. All right? And if you think I'm getting a little inflatable tub and filling that shit up in my kitchen or something, you're out of your mind. It's not happening. All right? Next question. How the health recovery got slashed in half. Not a big deal. I'm not saying it's like not a big... I'm not saying it's irrelevant. Like, it just is what it is. Like, it's part of active sustain adjusted. I mean, I hear you. I get it. Like, but like right now, hots are so strong. Like, my vigor ticks hit so fucking hard. They could half my HP recovery, and I'm just like, whatever, dude. Like, that's I guess what I'm getting at is like that's honestly not the point between life or death for me out there. It really isn't. Are your guys' vigor ticks not hitting for thousands upon thousands? Shit, man, if you have rapid regen or something on you, what are those hitting for? Like, they're hitting so hard right now. Everything is tuned up, dude. It's tuned up. What's my top 3 favorite things so far in the patch notes? Do you mean? That's a good question. Arctic Blast nerf comes in at the number 1 spot. All right. If you're walking around your Warden spamming Arctic Blast, you gave up a while ago. All right. God bless it. They're hitting that. What else did we have in there? I think the crit damage changes are interesting. They're trying to like, because they kind of gutted like crit from the game a bit, but it seemed like part 1 to a part 2 thing, and this is kind of starts to seem like the part 2 of them bringing it in, making it relevant and very powerful, because it really is. Like, you can really jump your crit damage. Like, this patch, they want you to crit. The one mythic that is overtuned right now, looking, it doesn't let you block. You can put that in my top 3, all right? I don't run around blocking. I'll take it. Do I want 10,000 armor with 5k health and my halved 500 HP regen? Sure, I'll take it. It's going to be easier to dress up mobile builds with that. Yeah. So, yeah. I really like some of the Templar possibilities. Yeah, man, we'll see. Maybe we'll have a return of the Fooplar. My rating region ticks for 3.5 BGs. Yeah, and they can hit for more than that. And they're just the game's active heal over times, and then letting them stack. It's just too much. There's too much going on there. So, when will this patch be out? We got a date. I think isn't it scheduled for June 1st or June 11th? June something, like first, second week of June. I think that's still a soft target, but pretty definite, probably. Yeah, the 100% increase in weapon traits looks interesting. I think that thing with Torgs is going to be pretty juiced up. Like, that's a lot of damage. But yeah, interesting is one way of putting it. That's for sure. But it can even be used with other things. Like, that's a good set. There's other places it mathematically really makes it effective. The Vate Destro could be purged now. I think it always could be purged. It just didn't show the graphic. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure you purge the effect, but the beam would just stick with you. PvP's fun again. Nobody, Chris, you loving it? You go get him. I'm not trying to talk people down from it. Don't get me wrong. I just have my opinions on the patches. That said, I'll still poke at it and see, how much fun we're having with the patch on the PTS and whatnot with combat. I just feel like direction with the combat like that I would enjoy more. That's all. For me, it presents more depth to PvP. It makes for more interesting engagements. There's a lot of people that play games, and ESO is no exception, where they just will be like, what is the strongest possible meta thing I could make this patch, right? That's it. And like, I'm not that kind of gamer. I just never have been. If there's something like no one's doing, I'm like, cool, can I make that work? So like, people that play games like that, like, you'll like that shit, but like, it's just not for me. I don't know. Like, I'm talking all the people that just like hopped on their fucking Magsorks or their back in the day fucking DKs and Nightblades when they were just like running wild. Like, we're talking pre-Warden days and shit, like these gross ass classes, and they just jump from one to the next. Like, if you like that shit, like, there is always a place for you here with ESO. And they're just making it, for me, it's just like less fun when some of these options, they just become like gross to deal with. It's not fun to engage some of them. Like, some of these people playing like that. That's all. So, yeah. It's a never-ending cycle, chasing the meta tails. It's just not... So that's what I mean. Like, some of you guys will be like, I can really fucking shit on people now. I love this stuff. And that's great. Like, you actually will have the ability to do that in certain ways. But, like, it's not what I like. That's all. I like when it's like very interesting and it's this open environment, and certain things may be a little stronger than others, but there's different ways to deal with it. And then you can kind of piece it apart and be like, you know what, I'm going to make the thing that like people don't see right away, like strong in a way. And it's just like, nah, this shit's pretty one-dimensional, dude. That's not going to happen. Good try, though. It's just not interesting as much for me. That's all. What do you think about werewolf PvP builds? They've generally become a bit boring, the way they operate. I think they will return to power and effectiveness with the new Mythic. New Mythic has werewolf written all over it. Alright. You get all that in a one-piece slot, you're a happy-looking werewolf. But yeah, I mean, they're mostly just like heavy attack, fear, And when you have the ability to just stay alive and something like that's a Mythic, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's just, I don't know. Yeah. When are you supposed to ship? Like, first week of June? Or second week, maybe? Something like that. A little over a month of PTS. Why is Crystal Weapon still not fixed? Which part of it, you mean? The medium attack part got fixed, if that's what you mean. The skill's still very strong, though. Any kind of, like, damage you can stack the hell up like that, and that's the thing, is, like, with all the stats getting inflated, being able to start stack things, like, people are just like, boom, 30, 40k. And that's, like, really easy to do in a lot of classes. And it's just like, oh, you weren't blocking. Or, oh, you didn't roll dodge it. You're dead. I feel like there are too many sets. You tell them, Tuggles. That's part of this. That's part of the deal, though. You make sets to sell the DLC, so that's all. I hear you. That mythic is equal to Plague Doctor and the active bonus, 5-piece bonus of Pariah. Yeah, pretty good. This is what we call Kiss Curse here, though, and you can not block, sir. So, are you willing to burden that Kiss Curse? Maybe. I like Enlisted. It's been a lot of fun. Enlisted's been a lot of fun. We'll be playing more of it. Is Malkath completely unthrown now? No, it's still got good passive percent base damage. It still has major and minor berserk and then some put together in it. And now even opens up the ability to crit, just not as hard. So it's still very good. And it stacks with, if you happen to be playing like a Warden, you will already have minor berserk built into your minor major berserk ring that happens to stack with it, which also has percent base damage in the passive by slotting the skill that gives you minor berserk. I mean, you're probably feeling pretty good. And don't worry, if you get in trouble, just flip bars. Start Arctic blasting your way back to the top, you know? So, yeah. Should be able to use crit surge with Malkath? You could, yeah. It's a good Warden healer. Cyrodiil set. For Cyrodiil? I don't know. I don't know what's open. What do you guys say? Juliano's, just like a base stat one with a little bit of crit. Shackle Breaker. Can't go wrong with that. I'm not sure what's open for that. I forget. We only have like 15 sets. That's another thing. You guys said that I should cover. Another thing you guys said was in Cyrodiil that they were waiting until June to decide what they're going to do with the Cyrodiil sets, right? Is that a post somewhere or something? Did I miss that? Because that's pretty big. There's only like 15 active sets in Cyrodiil or something, or 20. New PvP content in terms of maps or instance? No, that's not happening. Pretty sure they said it on stream or something. Jesus Christ. Okay. We don't know what they do with Cyrodiil. Maybe no new mythic rule? I don't think they know what they're doing with Cyrodiil either. Okay, fair enough. We'll figure it out. That'll be interesting. That actually impacts a lot. That's a pretty important thing. Yeah, there's nothing in here about it. Okay. That's pretty important if they're going to turn the sets back on or not. So we'll see, I guess, right? What do you have to change the death for the Necro? It's definitely a big hit to Necro. It's still very strong. Its ability to mitigate damage and heal effectively. I mean, it still has other just huge passives that are very good. Its Blast Bones is as cheap as dirt to cast, widely effective. Now that Blast Bones works, they've been dominant ever since. They just have high mitigation, huge delayed burst damage that also happens to present major defile upon the enemy. You know, whether they want it or not, it's just built in. They're saying people like PvP without proc sets, which I do not believe. There was definitely like a vocal audience that likes it. Here's the thing. People don't like certain proc sets. There are certain gross proc sets. There really are. Even that a lot of people are using them, don't like them. A lot of people use Calorians. They're just like, I've had enough. You know? And what they needed to do was fix those sets, or not put them in the first place the way they were. They didn't do that, so they disabled things. They disabled a lot of conditional sets, and certain proc sets that weren't that gross. Some that actually needed buffs or something, or just a change or a rework. So I'd say a large majority of the sets that got disabled, people don't have a problem with. It's a very small minority of sets, but they just like, hey, we're going to fucking turn them all off. Just turn everything off. I think part of it they said was because, they wanted to test Cyrodiil lag, but it didn't help lag. It actually made it worse. And then they just like, you know what, just keep them off because it seems like people might be happy. It's just lack of like direction, commitment. That's all. My opinion. You just make a plan and go with it. And this plan is just like, what do you feel like doing on Monday? Maybe we'll just keep them on for 6 months. A lot of people say they don't like that. All right, fuck it, dude. We'll keep them on for 3 months. A lot of people didn't like that either. Oh well. I don't feel like doing anything today. All right, 3 months. Okay, that's what you get. Like, I don't know. So, I'd like just more of a plan on a lot of things. That's all. But anywho, that's where we're at. That's what's coming. That's what's happening. There's your PvP content updates. Yes, sir.